I really need to get my second TV up so I can have a monitor for this.
Okay. Well, last time, Ugbor, Vorik, and Pelinel, you decided to explore a haunted property, and in finding the property, you determined that it was invisible from the outside. But after hopping the wrought iron fence, you were able to enter the decrepit structure easily. You were unable to determine what the rune stone or the bust in the house meant, and decided to instead just dispatch the specters and destroy their portals into this plane. Once they were all destroyed, portals and spirits, the stone slab cracked on its own accord, releasing a final swarm of chilling entities charging towards you. After cleaning the house, so to speak, you entered the streets at night, and all was normal as you tried to go find some drink and reprieve from the events of the evening. But after entering the streets, you were met with silence, deafening silence. A silence that preluded a powerful and deep pulse of energy that shook people, but not material. Everyone in the city, and who knows how far beyond it, felt it. Most people were concerned and turtled up for the evening, while Vorik, and seemingly Vorik alone as far as you can tell, feels a little differently, excited, and some version of expectancy resonated with you, but you didn't seem to have any clue as to why. After this, you decide to get some rest at the Morning Glory Inn, and after waking, you find a man who tells you that your debt to the Tadikus has been paid, and destroys your manifest given by them. He then leads you to the goblin known as Gurki, and in the meeting room where you were led to, you see two others, and a third stranger that apparently has been following you for some time and knows one of the people in this room. Gurki then makes an appearance and an offer, offering all of you contracts, promising a share of the profits in the leads that he has on specific treasures and personal wishes of his before his inevitable retirement. The first of which appears to be in Cliffcrag, a destination Pelinel already has business in, at least. You all, Ugbor, Vorik, Pelinel, Albert, Flint, and Munson, signed contracts after some brief negotiations. You went down to the storefront to stock up on some things before leaving into the bright morning streets of the City of Pillars. You were told to listen to your Gavart messaging system rings, or GMS rings for short, for a call in approximately 2 days after Gurki has had some time to make preparations. So, with 2 days to burn before the next major departure, what are you doing?
Hey, boy, you want to go get some sick tattoos?
Brother.
Yeah, dude. I definitely do.
Got you, Janny, we're good.
Holy crap, man. I am so psyched for that.
We're gonna go get some sick ass tattoos. I have to find a notebook. Hold on.
Now, remind me from Marshall, do we also still go to the Cage Arena?
Well, we certainly can if we want to, although, as I understand, we are no longer beholden to Tosvavas, and therefore no longer have any business there.
That might be so, but the prize money would be nice.
Oh,
And I wouldn't
for sure.
mind.
I
wouldn't
don't
mind
have
with us.
anything other than this weapon here, and the armor I'm currently wearing.
The only weapon you need is your intuition and your intelligence sometimes. Sometimes a little bit more money, but we have other more to take care of that part.
Yeah. Usually where other people would use intelligence, I use my quick wit, and my quick wit hits like a train.
You know, I'm not really the smartest. I have nothing to go on that. I'm just not the smartest.
No, it's true, he's not.
Very wise, though.
Oh, so wise.
Here's on my day.
The wisest.
I like that.
I'm jealous of you. I want that case. Give me your case now. That briefcase?
You know there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
So,
you.
Okay. I got a new headset. I'm still using my same mic, but I got a new headset. I'm just trying to get it working.
Oh, speaking of headset, real quick, I mentioned it to Munson and Alfred while they were here first. But Anthony, I figured out why my headset's not working. It's not holding a charge, and when I went to plug it in today, the battery on the right headphone is so swollen it popped the end of it off. It popped the cap on the outside of the headset off. So I'm not using that.
Oh, that's fine. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Put a little tape on it.
Battery swelling is totally common. It's not even. It's so common. It's not even considered like a critical malfunction. In most cases, it's just standard aging.
That's critical in the fact that it's not holding charge when it's a wireless headset. So that's critical for me.
Oh well, yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys hearing echo yourselves from me?
But like, if you ever like get the chance to step into a variety of data centers, pay attention to their UPS racks. You can tell how long they've been there by how many swollen batteries you can count.
I mean, they should just take some little push pins and with some air out of the batteries, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that's a great idea. Just get right into the cells.
Anyway, sorry for that aside. Please proceed with your day in Sunder.
Anywho, I would still say the extra $3,000, whatever the reward was, would be nice. Plus, I would not mind one last fight in the arena before we step out of the city.
We talked about that big G spot because I'm about that too.
Yes, something, yeah.
And what was your name again, there, big guy?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
My name's Alfred Whipplebottom, former champion of the arena.
Hey, listen.
A fierce name.
There's this guy that's there, and I have to ask you a question about him. I can't quite remember his name. All I recall is that he besmirched my god to my face and said he was going to rip me in half the next time he saw me. He was going to do it there, but then he got interrupted.
Alfred, you immediately recognize the intent of what Ugbor describes, and you can pretty much well assume that he's describing Wallen. Wallen is the grand champion of the arena, and he ran with you and the other champions before you were ousted in lieu of somebody else. Wallen is a grand champion of the main arena, has been so for quite a while, he's a very muscular, purebred orc, and he has a bone to pick with a lot of religion.
He besmirched the besmirched.
Yeah,
So
I was
to
already.
me it sounds like you may want some help with that thing.
Well, listen, if we happen to run into him in the arena and I don't rip him in half, I would totally appreciate you doing me a solid and making sure that I don't become the dead.
I don't mind taking on a grand champion every so often. It might help boost my reputation beyond the city. So, yeah, if we run into him, I'll cook a few fireballs as well.
Well, I think we still have to wait like another day, Dustin, before that happens.
Yes, the city is pretty well abuzz with standby talk of the upcoming contests of beasts, but that doesn't take place until tomorrow.
Yes, we still got at least a day.
And you want to know what? I think a day is more than enough time to get one of those ass tattoos.
I mean, it took Board like 5 seconds to get that one.
Yeah, because it happens all at once. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. I am psyched.
If you guys go ahead and do that, I will try and see if I can find information on what sort of animal they might be using in tomorrow's arena fight. Just a little bit of a laid out about the competition.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So how can we stay in contact with each other? I can like kind of, say a little prayer and I can talk to you guys from like wherever, but
Vorik, at this time, your psychic bond would have melted.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
I'll call you Q.
Can I page you? Is that okay?
It does not matter how you reach me. If you can't reach me at some other... I'll be mainly near the arena area, probably picking up whatever little stuff I have in my apartment. You can generally find me somewhere near the arena entrance.
I will be in my room studying my lure book, as that's what I always do, because I must know the outside world before ever entering it.
Hey.
It's not bad. It's pretty cool out there.
Well, but you're in it right now.
Oh no, I'm in Sunder. Sunder, I know Sunder very well. Outside of Sunder, I don't know so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
well,
never
listen.
set foot up the walls before, so it'll be the first time for me.
Yes, so
Well,
I will,
listen, guys,
I will
there's a
study
lot out
books
there.
of each area and study them before I enter such crazy places, just in case.
You should. There's a lot out there. On the way here, the number, dude, so much happened on the way to this city. We don't talk about the boat dock.
How some dude gets stabbed in the neck.
Well, I've only seen you guys since you've entered Sonder. I don't know what you've done before.
And I don't really care what happened before. What happens now and what happens in the future matters more than the past.
Aha! You said you're in the outside world. Aha!
P.
Yes, with that, I will go ahead and find information and prepare myself for the combat ahead of us.
Or stunned from missing Dash's comment earlier is now like laughing uncontrollably. For sure.
Alright, with that, I'll go ahead and just walk away and towards the arena.
Well, boy, let's go get some wicked ass tattoos.
Dude, I am so down. Oh,
I
man.
just learned what a tattoo was the other day.
I have never seen them.
Hey, Vorik, what's your proficiency bonus right now? Is it 3?
Yes.
So,
Is that also the lowest bonus you have, question mark?
well, point of order. Your psychic whispers, you can only attach that to your proficiency bonus number of characters. So keep in mind.
Yep. Updates that for me. Like the details and the actions where we use D&D Beyond. Says as an action, choose up to 3 creatures you can see.
That's awesome. I was just looking at your thing because I wanted to make sure, because now we have a party of 6, it'll be interesting. It's not just everybody.
Well, I mean, realistically thinking work-wise for the first little bit, it'll probably just me Bill, and Hardboard anyway.
Yep.
As far as psychic whispers go.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can send message to anyone I need to talk to that's within range, but really only if I need to.
The message is only like 120 feet. I can cast sending, but
Correct,
Well,
but if you
okay,
ever get
then-
the tattoos and the other ones over at the arena, I just have to be within range of certain areas.
We can talk within a mile. Those 3 will be able to
DM, could we pull up the map real quick?
do. Never.
No.
we gotta remember all by.
Yeah.
The
let's
map
see.
is in
Oh, geez.
Discord.
Ugbor has the Wandering background, and he would be very familiar by now with at least some of the major landmarks, and would be able to suggest a rendezvous point.
Well, we can tell them what inn we're staying at, I guess.
Where we currently are?
Yep, that's where you currently are.
Okay. So, I guess as we can see by the map, you all remember where the bazaar was? It's that's where we're going to get the tattoos. There's a sick tattoo shop there.
Yeah, the exquisitely named tattoos.
Yeah. So you guys are going to check out the pits, I guess?
Yeah. I'll probably be in my apartment first, gathering whatever little trinkets I may have from my apartment. I wouldn't have had much.
So what day? So you said another day before the pit battle, correct?
Yeah, a day before that, and then I guess 2 days before we leave with Gurky.
Okay, so the yellow squares where my house would be for the DM, and then I would I would just meet them at the pit the day of battle, I guess. But I would just be in my house. No one knows where it is, of course, except you, DM. But yeah, that's where it is.
Well enough.
Would I know him?
No, most of you, none of you would have really known me. The only one that might have known me would have been Alfred, but that's only because of a gambling debt, not because I've ever invited him over.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where his. I don't know where his place would be.
Yeah,
Are you from Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in Thunder for 150 years.
Yeah, Munson and Vork's spheres of debt and influence have not exactly intersected until now.
So I may know some of his people he's dealt with, but not him.
Possibly, where your debt lied primarily in the indulgence pillar, and his were in the same indulgence pillar. They were on two separate sides of the city, where yours were primarily with the drug-related side. His were in the gambling side.
Okay. Yes, mine were to do other things in life. Unfortunately, it wasn't for me.
So both of you would know the generalities of the Tadiku Den to different degrees, but nothing generally, directly intersecting with each other.
Okay.
And of course, I would know all of Thunder, so if you're getting tattoos, I know where you're at, but at the same time, I know where the pits are, so it's not that big of a concern. But if anything, you guys get tattoos, and we plan on doing the battle tomorrow, I will stay home, study my lures of the distances, and then meet you guys in the arena tomorrow.
What were the other tattoos that were available before?
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, hey, maybe
Dustin knows exactly what tattoo I want to.
Wait, Mr.
Don't
Munson,
you,
before
buddy?
you leave.
Let's go look. How much money
Yes.
are we rolling in?
How many
We
of
got-
you?
We got some
Were you able to find a
ash,
stick?
dude.
Yes, I was able to find a stick.
Outstanding.
I give you a stick that basically stands up to your chest. It's whittled very nicely, carved a little bit. The bark has been peeled off, and I put a little stab point on the bottom, so when you stab the ground, it would balance out.
Oh, this is just magnanimous.
You are welcome. I shall go study now. I'll see you around soon.
Happy
I hope.
studying, fellow scholar.
Indeed. And then I cast Greater Invisibility and walk away.
Okay, so Munson starts to walk away, and as he does, he just starts to fade into the distance like a mirage on the sandy plain that he's walking into. He just dissolves into the blending in of the environment.
You mean like at the end of Sandlot?
Yes, pretty much. Love that film. The Great Bambino.
I was the last to leave South Thunder, but when I did, most of the city was still there.
Okay, that's fair.
Are we in South Thunder?
Yes, it was actually a Sandlot joke.
Oh, what's the Sandlot?
The
Is there
greatest
Sandlot?
movie of all time.
What's a movie?
Ah, so,
It's in the Sunset Theater. You'll see it one day.
you will.
Oh,
And you must.
I'm scared.
So just to recap, Munson has gone off on his own, and Alfred, you said you were going to the pits. Is that right? Are you going there with anyone, or just by yourself?
Just by myself. I am trying to see if I can find out any information I can for what we might face in the arena.
Excellent. We'll explore that in a second. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, little guy, you off to anywhere?
Yeah, Flint.
You want to come get some sick tattoos with us?
I don't exactly have the money for sickening tattoos.
That's
However,
alright.
if you
It's okay.
know of
Listen,
any shops
like-
I might
No,
understand.
it's alright. So, like, the other day, me and Ogbor and Bork over there, I think we gambled our souls.
Yeah, we totally did. It was crazy, man. I lost everything I had. I felt the terrorizing agony of nothingness. And then Pell had 50,000 coins.
There was a bunch of gems, but I had to go, like, trade them in.
Well, you know what? To me, it's all money.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of money.
I defeated death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard,
Yeah, then we went to a haunted house. Yeah, that's true. And Ford defeated death. No, wait. No, you straight up defeated death.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pushover, really.
No big deal. Whatever.
It
Yeah,
took about-
I think Pell was slipping me some like long bottom leaf or something, man. That was weird.
That's just another normal Tuesday, you know.
Well, I'll have Flint. I guess it's just you there with them. Flint, make an insight check.
Who?
Flint.
Flint.
That would be Flash.
Just a moment. Insight.
You don't have a freaking clue what they're talking about, but you take it at their word.
Yeah, he
So-
killed death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So point is, that guy killed death. That guy got rich. I have felt the disturbing nothingness of a gaping hole. Let's go get tattoos.
I'm going to put a gun in my mouth just
It might have been like the death in like
My death.
Goldfish.
My death.
Oh, your specific death.
Yeah.
Not everyone's.
We haven't figured that out yet.
You know, there was some weird shit that happened last night that, like, not that long afterwards. Maybe it just took like a little bit of time for it to kick in.
Yeah. Hey, what was that about? Did you all feel that?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I think it was guacamole.
I don't know these strange things you say.
That's the one.
Laugh, little man.
Dustin, will that be something new, or is that like a Sunder thing?
What are you talking about? I missed it.
The weird feeling the night before.
Going forward, just generally speaking, I'm going to just call that the pulse. But you've never felt anything like that before in your life. But since then, you weren't as disturbed as everyone else seemed to be, or on edge. You seemed, for some reason, unbeknownst to you, to be something of in the neighborhood of anticipating something, excited a little bit, but not sure at all why.
Yeah, probably not that. It made them feel like terrified, and I was excited about it.
Yeah, like everybody else in the world seems to not have a clue what it is and expects a tidal wave to follow it, but nothing ever did. But in contrast, you seem to be pretty okay with that happening, without knowing why.
All right.
Yeah, shit was weird.
Okay, so as you four head to the bazaar, Munson heads off into the distance, and Alfred is going to head by himself up to the arena. Alfred, as you approach the very familiar stomping grounds, especially for you, of the arena and the training grounds before. You find yourself, after weaving through buildings and bobbing and weaving around people on your way there. Streets are not too crowded this time of day. You easily enough find your way there. You're very familiar with the neighborhood. Breaking through the structures and stepping feet once again into the training grounds around the arenas, around the fighting pits of Sunder. What are you going to look for, and where are you going to look for it at?
I just want to try and find any clues or information of what kind of monsters they recently brought in. So I would assume maybe the cages where they hold all the monsters.
Well, from your experience personally, going back in the years that you've been here, they've done a few of these, but you haven't put too much thought into it recently. It's not really interested you before, but you at least know factually that the creatures and abominations used in these showings of force are not kept within the arenas themselves, mainly because of space. The only space in the arenas is the actual fighting pit, the stands for spectators, and the champion circles underneath of the arena in the ground under the actual structure, and the ring under the structure would not be complacent for all the competitors and the beasts to be in there as well. So you at least know that they would not be held in the arenas.
Okay. So then I guess I would just use my reputation and contacts to talk to people who would know what was brought in recently.
Okay, fair enough. We'll have you roll an investigation or a persuasion roll, your choice, when talking to people around the arena.
Investigation and persuasion, or persuasion?
Or persuasion, either way. If you want to talk to them and try and investigate based on their reactions and intentions and information they give you, or whether they're trying to convince them to tell you where something is. However you want to approach it.
Alright, I will go ahead and do the persuasion.
See. With a 16, you are roughly generally told that for the most part only the higher ups know where these things are kept, but they can only imagine that they're off behind all of the arenas in the open desert space that is beyond the arenas, between the arenas and the walls of the city.
And I'm assuming these are highly guarded, they won't let anyone go in type of place?
It's more of an open field type situation, but just sand and rock. The main gates to the city are the ports, but there are entrances on the backside of the city leading to the rest of the island. Now, between the arena type area leading back, at least in that corner of the city, it's pretty desolate and just an open, craggy field. There's not really anything for people to be interested in over there, so it's not really guarded. You're sure if something was over there, it might have some sort of structure or draw attention, but you wouldn't expect to see any kind of guards until you get closer to anything that might be over there.
Alright, I'm gonna try and see if I can make my way over there and see what I can see.
Okay, heading in that direction, you can see just before the wall of the city, the large 100+ foot tall stone wall that encircles the entire area that is South Sunder. Just before that, there are basically large temporary cage structures that have been set up, and over top of the cage structures have been put giant blankets or tarps that have been sewn together in one giant tapestry. And in that area, you hear a lot of clamoring and clanging of bars and chains, and you hear some animal calls that you can't quite hear in detail from this distance. I will have you make a nature check for those calls to see if you can recognize any of the sounds coming at you, but it is very far in the distance. But you do see something that you can only assume to be a holding cell for this event.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll for that nature check.
Okay. 4, you don't recognize these sounds. They do sound fierce and loud, but as to their nature or their source, their species, you don't have a clue.
I'm gonna try and see if I can get a little closer.
Okay, are you approaching stealthily or just walking up?
Let's go ahead and try stealthily. If anything, I can always go to plan B.
Sure, go for it. Okay. An 8 on your stealth. You kind of walk over there, dodging image. You go up and down the little small hills and rolling crags that are the backside of the city, unpopulated and unstructured as of yet. And you jump between rocks and act casual as can be, and you make your way closer to the area. But by the time you can make yourself within let's say about 100 feet of the structure, there are periodic guards stationed around that area. And I'll just go ahead and roll for it. Let me see. A guard sees you. Scurry from one giant boulder to another, like along a dried up creek sort of crevice, and he walks over to that area, taps his spear on the edge of the rock to make a little clanging sound to get your attention. Hey, got business?
Ah! Not really in character.
Oh, you passed the test.
What was the guy's name who owns the place again?
You don't know who owns the place.
Or whoever the master. I would think I would know who hosts the.
If you're thinking of the grand champion, his name is Wallen.
No, he's thinking of the ringmaster.
Oh, the ringmaster. The ringmaster is Akunthi.
Akunthi?
Yes, Akunthi is the master of the pits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, Akunti sent me here to inspect the monsters. I thought I might test your watchfulness to see if, people will sneak in. And I will say, you gladly passed.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage. Yeah. I might see some paperwork. I'd really doubt he's going to send somebody who's rock hopping all the way over here.
Surely you don't need the paperwork, but,
I tried to pat my, the loincloth I have, trying to figure out where they are.
I think I've dropped them somewhere. You might as well just, take a quick peek and all that, and I'll be on my way.
That's a negative, everybody. Only guards and professionals here. You can't have any of these details leaking out to the contestants. They could have an unfair advantage. It'd be bad for gambling. Make some tracks.
Professionals? I'm a former champion. Come on, man. And besides, I don't plan on fighting. I just throw the check on these for the Akunti. Make sure they're ready for the fight tomorrow.
Hey, frankly, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your title is. Unless you got papers, or if you outrank me, you ain't getting past me.
What is his rank? Private? Okay. Would I be in close range to be able to roll maybe another nature check to see what kind of squalls is going on?
Yeah, I'll say you're much closer than you were, so you can reroll your nature check and see what happens.
Damn, I'm not getting good rolls today.
9. I'll say with a 9, you hear several rumblings. The beasts, creatures, abominations, whatever they are, they're not constantly making noise. But you do at least hear grumblings that you recognize. And you do hear some grumblings of something of a bearish nature and something of a woven coyote style kind of nature. You don't know how many of what they are, or exactly what they are, or if you're going to fight them, or someone else is going to fight them, or how that's going to work. But you do know at least that there are some creatures of that nature in that direction.
Alright. I understand you're doing your job. I'll go ahead and see if I can find a piece of paper for you, and I'll be back soon.
All right,
With that, I go ahead and walk out.
I'll be here if you need me, sweetheart. And he gives you a wink and then backs up with a scowl on his face. While that is happening, Vorik, Pell, Ugbor, and Flint, you guys are heading to the bazaar. Easy enough to find. Most of you are familiar with the city by now. Flint, not so much, but you can trail along. And tracing your way back to the bazaar that you're familiar with, you head in to the grand doors on the western side of the city, past the giant pillars that hold up the arched roof. You walk in past some of the immediate food vendors and processed goods and arts and crafts that have been made for this end of the bazaar, which is mainly processed and completed artifacts and items. The other side of the bazaar being more raw materials and raw foods and things like that. But you walk in here knowing that this side is closer to the tattoo place that you are destined to. And eventually, not too long after entering the bazaar, are able to find the parlor within that you are familiar with. And you enter to find the same halfling from before manning the front desk.
Oh.
Hey there, friend. How you guys holding up? Been a minute.
Yeah, it really has.
I'm glad to see you, but what can I do for you? Here for something else? A follow-up appointment, something? How's your other friend? How's this tattoo going?
Well, it was pretty sick, but he ran off somewhere.
Yeah, it was awesome though.
It was pretty sick.
He could make it dance.
Yeah.
Well, happy to hear you're satisfied. What can I do for you today, my friends?
We would like that tattoo. No, but we would like a tattoo.
Yeah, we want some now.
All right, happy to have new business. What can I instill or have instilled in your body or person?
Want the cool ones, like the really expensive ones.
Oh, so you want the cool ones, not the hand-drawn ones?
Those are still pretty cool, but we want the ones that, I don't. Yeah, like that one. I don't want to walk through the wall, but
I get you. Okay, and he points back to the glass case behind him on the wall, and you see now that it is completely empty except for one long metal rod at the top that has dark red inscriptions on the side of it, lining the entirety of the rod, leading up to the 4 pronged square pattern needles on the end of the rod. Yeah, the only one I got left here seems to be that old top one there, the Blood Fury. Yeah, it's kind of pricey. It's been sitting there for a minute, but I'm sure we'll get rid of it eventually. That's the only one I got. It's still $2,500. But yeah, that's where that is. That's the only one I got of those. If you want, I can do anything else for you. If you want a standard tattoo or anything else, all my guys are pretty much free today. We had 2 appointments canceled and only one other one, so yeah, we're pretty open.
just the one. Huh. What does that one do?
Blood Fury. And you see him get under the counter, pull out a small little notepad and flip through it for a second. That one, it seems to increase your strength and overall performance in a battle, more or less, looks like. It's kind of rough and dirty I have on it. I mean, if you want, you can take a look at the notes. Maybe you can read this guy's handwriting better than I can.
Or Ugborn nudges Pell. If you let me get this tattoo, I will owe you for
I'm thinking about it already. It sounds pretty wicked. What's it, let me see a little paper you got, buddy. You just gonna like bend down and grab it.
Oh, sure thing. Here you go. And he hands you the notepad. It's flipped open. It's hand scrawled. It's kind of hard to read, but you can read basically little scratchings of things that say attunement, 10 charges / day, and something under that relating to necrotic damage.
So I'm looking it up right now, and I'm totally gonna buy that for a quarter. Yeah, give me that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Or starts jumping around.
All right. Well, I mean, if you got the 25 G's, I'm here for it.
All right, here you go.
Wait. Slow the roll. You said 2,500.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like 2,500. Maybe I misspoke. I was just getting excited. I guess I don't know. It's just 2,500. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, Pell will like get into his bag of holding and pull out his money and give him 2,500. There you go. I'm not the best counter.
No worries. We'll make sure real quick. And the halfling pulls out a scale, like a set of scales, and he takes your pouch, ties it tight so it won't go off anywhere. He places this giant sack on one side of the scale, and it just totally flops to the ground. And he reaches under and gets some weights and puts them on the top of the counter over and over, a bunch of different weights. This is the biggest scale I got. Hopefully this is easy. I don't have to get a bunch of those small ones over and over again. And he weighs out a weight after weight after weight on the other side of the scale, trying to get to balance. Puts a plate on top of those weights so he can add more weights on top of that over and over again. Eventually he gets it to almost balance. He puts on one more small little weight, and then it totally comes to flush. Yep, good enough. And takes everything down and takes the bag, puts it on the floor behind the counter. All right, well, yeah, there's that. Now here, let me get this for you. And he turns around, gets a key out of his pocket, and unlocks the glass cabinet behind him. Lifts up the door to the cabinet, which is to the very top, almost beyond his reach, being as short as he is. But he manages to get the bar down, and closes the door, locks it, turns back around to you. All right, so you just want the item. You want us to help you, install the tattoo or anything? I think we mentioned this before with your other friend there.
What's it gonna look like?
That is between you and the tattoo, my friend. This is technically an enchantment. It appears as a tattoo, takes the manifestation of ink, but it kind of courses its energy with your own, and it divines some sort of nature based off that. It's more of a personalized thing.
I see. Okay. And how do you install the tattoo? I might take it with me.
So here's the thing. See this thing, this fork side, and he points to the forked end of the tattoo needle. And the rod, like I said, is about a foot long or so, and ends in 4 needles that are part of the smooth bar that is this tattooed item, this tattoo needle. And the needles are in a square pattern, 4 needles going around the bar. Okay, you take this and you inject this into your skin, well, in the neighborhood of where you want it, and not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt like a mofo. It'll be like that for like about an hour or so. You'll be real sore. It'll be like you sat for a 24-hour tattoo in 30 minutes. But
wow.
But you need to hold it there until the entire device just dissolves into your skin, like it injects its entire self into your skin. And during that hour of process, you're going to be attuning to this item, right? You're going to absorb its essence and focus on what it is, And when you finish that process, it will totally have dissolved into yourself. The tattoo will manifest, and that should be the end of that. Like I said, it'll hurt, but it's pretty easy.
Okay. Has anybody ever installed one of these things on an existing tattoo?
That is a very curious thought. No, I have not. That is
Do
something
you
to think
it's
about.
doable?
Totally. This has no bearing on current existing art, but that's, I imagine it would either have to flow around the art, or it just would have no mind for it and just, overlap the picture. I don't know. It could be cool. It could be totally not cool. I don't know.
Huh.
That's a good thought, though. I like that thought.
Well, if you do it yourself, Falonkort, then I want to hold it.
Would you want to administer the tattoo?
I'm having to try.
I would be willing to let you administer the tattoo if you paid for a small one to be put on my wrist. Like a small regular one.
So you get to pick the one on your wrist?
But,
Yes.
alright, out of game. In my head, wouldn't like whenever you put the tattoo on you, couldn't you like kind of design how you want?
I thought it took its own form.
More or less, yeah.
It kind of does, yeah. But what I more or less asked the DM was, or not the DM, but the shopmaster was, if it would adhere to the form of an existing tattoo, and the answer was maybe. It sounds really cool.
Hip, it was a strong maybe. But yeah, you can try and direct the tattoo's appearance, but it does flux between your direction and the actual design of your essence and how the energy interacts with your power personally.
I don't care. If you want to get another one, we can get like, because I kind of want one. Just
Yeah, we could get matching tattoos.
Maybe not matching.
Listen, you can be half the heart, and I'll be the other half.
Okay, I like that idea a little bit better.
What about half the axe and the other half the axe?
That sounds much cooler.
Is there anybody around here that can like paint a picture? So I want to get like a picture of like Ugbor and Vorik and put them on my shield.
Yeah, you've seen a couple. There's many booths in this bazaar, and there's one that sells art, and I'm sure that you could work something out there. But you've not seen any paintings directly. You've seen paintings and books and literature and other things of that nature. You don't remember seeing an artist set up, but surely you can find one.
Yeah, I kind of want to do that. I know it sounds sappy.
Hey, I'll pose for painting. You're doling out all this cashola for this sick ass tattoo I'm about to receive.
So how much for regular tiny tattoos?
I mean, it depends on the art style and the size and what you're after. But I mean, if you're talking about a wrist, well, we'll just say a wrist bangle sort of thing. That situation might run you 15 silver or something like that.
I can do that.
What about like a wrist bangle with thorns?
Hey, details in the art, that's up to interpretation. That's just an approximate quote, not to be adhered to strictly. It's the more intricate you make this thing, the more expensive it's going to be. But we can, it's all for discussion.
It just seems like if I were to attempt to enchant a tattoo that does what you describe it to, thorns might be the way to go.
Thorns, maybe like a cool blood eagle or something. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. Like a vulture. Yeah.
What do you think Groosh would like?
What would Groosh like? Now there's a good question.
Because I kind of thought of getting a little thing of like stars and the moon.
So not to be like rushed or anything. I'm still holding this needle bar. Have you decided who's going to do it?
Yeah, no, I want it. If Pell is still willing to purchase it for me.
Yeah. I already spent the money.
He tosses the tattoo needle through the air at you, Ugbor.
Okay, Ugbor's gonna go for the catch.
Roll dexterity.
Guidance. I'm gonna cast guidance. I'll roll a d4 for you.
Roll a d4. Hang on, he's gonna roll a d4 for guidance.
Give me that 4, dude. Give me that 4.
It's rolling. It's lagging.
It's right.
10 was what you needed to make to catch the tattoo needle. It takes you a second. You clumsily grab at it, and it fumbles once, and then you grab it immediately after. Not falling, not stabbing yourself. You do catch the needle.
Okay, cool. And I have the symbol. So, Pell asked me to describe something Grumsh would like. And I described this effigy I used to see as a child. It takes the shape of a series of streaks with an eye, a singular eye in the center, and looks a little bit like what I'm about to post in chat.
Oh, totally! I dig that. That's kind of tribal. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I wouldn't totally do that. If you want to do something like that, like on your wrist or something. Yeah, that easy. That's like 15 silver, no problem.
If Pell's fine with it, I am.
Let me see.
No problem. You want to get scheduled for today or later? What's your task there? This is not complicated. It shouldn't take very long.
I'll give him 2 gold because I'm gonna get a little tattoo. I'm gonna find it though real quick.
Oh yes, Ugbor, please add the Blood Fury tattoo to your inventory.
Okay, Blood Fury Tattoo Applicator.
However you want to phrase it. It's an actual item. If you wanted to search for it, it should come up. But Blood Fury Tattoo is what you have.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just going to get something that looks like this. And he just pulls out his holy symbol and it kind of looks a little bit like this little picture that I just sent.
Excellent. A little bit more intricate, not much. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, but what's the scale and location you want that at, brother?
I don't know. Just put it on my forearm.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say forehead. Yeah, I can do your forearm. Yeah, we can get that done for you. Something of that nature, we'll say, being just a little bit bigger, we'll say 20 silver.
I give him 2 gold earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll cover that, no problem. Sure thing. Okay, so when do you want to schedule that? And he breaks out the big book that's beside him and flips the page, and he puts a quill down to the one section of the book that is today's section. So you want to do that today, or you want it later? Both these, we have people to do them. We can do them simultaneously. It might take about an hour total.
Yeah, if we can do it today, then might as well. We're kind of leaving soon anyway.
I can do. Yeah, we can get started right away. I'll get you guys with somebody here in a second, and we'll get that started. So as he writes down your names, he's familiar and getting enough with your names, get your names. He collects payment up front for that, which you've already taken care of. And as Pell and Ugbor proceed to get their respective tattoos, what are Vorik and Flint doing?
I'm kind of looking around, see if I want to add anything else. Obviously, there's no other magical tattoos, but might want to put some more ink.
Yeah, sorry.
Strictly speaking, I don't have a job per se, And being that I have 8 gold pieces to my name, I think I will just take it all in.
Well, I don't know you enough to argue with you, but what I can promise you is this. When Pell offers something, he does it out of the kindness of his heart.
Yeah. If you want something, get it, buddy. Yeah, I wish there was more magical tattoos, because that was like what we were really here to get, but
I'm not your buddy, guy.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
When I look up the Blood Fury tattoo item, by the way, it doesn't show up in D&D Beyond, so I think I might have to do a custom item.
There might be like a fan or a custom made one that somebody made you can add on there.
How do I find those?
Go in, there should be like homebrew magic items.
Yeah.
Let's
So you
see.
can add it.
That's weird, I've got Tasha's, I don't know why it's not popping up on there.
I had to buy mine. You're not subscribed still, are you?
That could be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought the Ghost Step. I just bought it. I think it was like $1.
Let me see. Yeah. What the hell? If my wallet's out the car, then I'll just have to wait a second. Wait.
While you guys are looking for that, is there anything else anybody wants to do while we wait on their tattoos to finish?
I want to look for a mythical looking dagger tattoo.
Okay. You scoured the wall of art that is present in any tattoo parlor of past tattoos or sketchings or drawings or paintings that are done that they find interest in or think that would make a great tattoo. And you scour the wall of art that is there. It doesn't take long for you to find a generalized dagger tattoo, and you could edit or add any kind of flourish that you want to it.
So basically, as I cast my ability DM, it's basically more of a trusting procedure to see kind of how they act with each other and so forth. So that's why I keep casting it in areas where they're grouped up.
Gotcha.
I want to talk to that guy if he's not busy. Be like, what about these? How much these run if I get 2 of them?
Those guys, again, depends on size and scale. What size you want and where you want them.
Like a 1-to-1 scale, like a real life scale. Inner forearms.
Dig it, man. Yeah, easy enough. We'll say 10 silver each for the pair, so 20 silver.
Deal. Let me sketch out a little bit of changes here.
No problem. Here's a piece of paper and some chalk, a little ash-coated chalk. Does wonders for this type of thing. You make your little amenities there, and we can get started right away. And as you sketch out the detailed daggers that you want tattooed, Ugbor and Pell have already been in the back for just a moment before you get your tattoo lined out and head back for your session. Flint is just browsing around and waiting. Is there anything else Flint would like to do before we just fast forward to the end of the tattoo?
You can get whatever you want, if you want it.
strictly speaking, I'm quite afraid of what my mother would say if she were to discover that I went on an adventure, and then not only that I came back with a tattoo. She would, what she would say to the neighbors. I just,
Wow. I'll have you know that where I grew up, if somebody left and came back with a tattoo or scars or a missing limb, they were celebrated as heroes.
Yeah, my mom probably wouldn't.
you've not met my mother.
She'd be like, hey, that's alright.
She's the judgier type.
Well, soon enough, Ogbor, Pell, and Vorik return from their tattoos with fresh wax paper laid on top of their oiled skin that has the new tattoos placed there, with instructions on how to care for them for the next couple hours and day. In this time, Alfred, where are you at?
I was gonna say, I'm now just kind of training until we meet up in the training rooms.
Okay, easy enough. Well, the four of you then are finished with your tattoos. You thanked the attendants, both artists and the halfling clerk, and you leave the tattoo parlor with fresh ink. And it's about midday at this time, so whatever you want to do for the rest of the day.
I will get to work on my stick. I will be carving it to prepare it for the battle.
We'll just say this: is there anything anyone else wants to do with the rest of the day? Before if you have anything else to do, we can just say that you enjoy the day training and preparing yourselves for tomorrow if you intend to compete tomorrow.
Ugbor examines the fresh tattoo, acknowledges that it's a little itchy, and he's thinking about using that applicator. Hey, Pell.
Yeah.
You want to stab me?
I have nothing to stab you with. I have a hammer.
I have something you could stab me with, and I hand you the tattoo applicator.
Wow.
Hey! Now listen, what I'd like for you to do is stab Grimsh's eye right there.
Okay.
1,
1, 2, 3, go. And he stabs it.
Okay, so where are you doing this right quick? I know where the tattoo is going, but where are you physically in the world?
Ooh, that got ahead of me. I assumed we had met up. We're probably just outside the tattoo shop.
Yeah, and once you said otherwise, that's where you currently were. I mean, you have the entire day. You can go anywhere and do anything. I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, I think depending on whether or not how whatever happens, how much pain I'm in, I might go and do some exercising or training afterwards.
Okay, well, we'll say for our sake then, you are basically in one of the many resting areas nearby in the bazaar, benches and seating places and what have you, and that's where you're currently at. And Pell, as you turn to inject Ogbor's arm, you place the needle at the eye as instructed by Ogbor, and then very cautiously push the pointed blades into his arm. Ogbor, I'm gonna have you roll a con save for me.
Okay. 1 second. I was purchasing a subscription on D&D Beyond.
How dare you?
I know.
Oh, you horrendous monster. I just send you a plane of the hell,
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'm back. I got it. I'm with the cool. I'm one of the cool kids now. It's all right.
At least you're looking up with eyes wide open. My mother always warned me about free trials.
Yes.
Shit.
That actually was not a con save. That was a con check.
Okay. All right. Well, please correct that to a save.
That also
Please
is a
tell me that wasn't a 20. Oh, it was a good save too. Shit. Okay, here we go. I have a really good bonus on this.
You can do this.
18 plus 3 with bless, for a total of 21. You feel the pain, but it's a pain that you reciprocate with. It as it inflicts into you, you take it in your berserker nature and just envelop the pain into yourself, fold it in. And as you're sitting there concentrating on this tattoo rod and watching as the engraved dark red swirls and arts on the actual tattoo rod begin to very faintly glow and flicker and start to move and twine. And as you're holding this needle just injected into Ugbor as an IV of sorts, then the rod begins to shrink, in a smooth, flat fashion. It just begins to dissolve into itself, flowing from a physical element into an energy that is injected into Ugbor. Ugbor, please tell me how you intend to influence this tattoo or any arts that you are psychologically trying to imbue in this magic.
Okay, so looking at the item, and knowing what Ugbor knows about it, and considering what Pell had said, thinking about Grumsh, I just start focusing in on something that would please Grumsh, some sort of like fires of war or thorns of pain, something like that. And in my mind, Ugbor is concentrating and trying to manipulate the effects such that it is localized to at least his arm, but he's hoping for the tattoo.
Okay. So, the tattoo bleeds into your arm, and the energies you expand from the centralized eye of your tattoo. And as it does, it is red in color, and it takes the form of various splotches of blood that seem to trickle down from the eye of Grimshaw around the tattoo, symmetrically on both sides, down to the point, and up to the top there's a tribal-esque design that filters down into drops and veins of blood. And it wraps around your entire arm from the forearm to the back. And as it wraps around, the energies go from dripping blood into an almost tribal-like flame that solidifies just past your elbow, a little bit up into your bicep, of different weaponry. There's the edges of spears and knives and daggers and blades and axes, and even the square end of a hammer. And just this wide variety of pain-inducing instruments all across your arm.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that looks pretty sick, though.
Oh my god, I feel incredible too. I think it's supposed to hurt, but man, I am excited. I am ready to hurt people.
I'm glad I could help them.
Yes, you've unleashed a monster. I hope you know.
Well, we all need a hobby.
Desperately.
So unless anybody has any business you'd like to take care of, and I'm open to that if you are, we will just say that you go through the rest of the day tending to your various tattoos, training in Munson's and Alfred's ways of the mind and the blade, and you go about your day and eat at your own pace, train at your own pace, and prepare yourselves individually for the day coming. Helvorik, Ugbor, and Flint, where are you staying for the night?
We go back to the morning glory.
Yeah, morning glory, ride or die. Where do you guys usually stay? You probably have houses here.
Now, Flint is the only one with you. Alfred and Munson have done their own trainings, and unless Alfred has returned, Munson, as far as you know, went to his own abode.
Right, but to Ugbor, he's just part of the new group.
Right. So,
how much is a night at this morning glory?
2 gold.
We got it, buddy. It's okay. I was in your shoes not too long ago.
And now I'm in Hell's shoes. Or was.
Was. Here's my breastplate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend trying these bad boys on.
I've got a pretty
Keep
big
the forge as long as I have. Oh. They develop quite a smell, eh? Well, I won't demonstrate, but goodness me.
So DM, through the ability in which I casted while they were doing what they were doing, would I be able to figure out anything about the bag in which he pulled such an amount of money out of it with no issue? As I would assume it would be a magical type item.
yeah, now the spell allows you to see, not hear. That's correct?
Correct. So I could see them pull out a bunch out of one bag. It seemed to be more than what the bag could handle, but had no effect on the bag.
Yes, I'll have you roll an Arcana check on that.
Natural 20. So 28.
Okay, yeah. You are very familiar, at least in common magics, and this is a relatively common, least commonly known item. So you identify this bag easily as a bag that has some sort of extra dimensional space in it.
Okay, cool. Just write down in one of my books is a fascinating item.
Oh, guys, I have one last thing to do tonight. Once we get back to the inn.
Oh yeah, what's that, Phil?
I'm gonna try to figure out what the hell happened last night.
Yeah, you got any leads on that? I know you do magic stuff.
I can try something. I don't know though.
Ah, that's a game of Detective Alfred is often playing.
Yeah, I'm not really the smartest. Hopefully this will help me figure out a thing or two.
All right, well, you guys mosey back to the morning glory, and this time is the dwarf lady who is manning the front desk. And upon your entry, she greets you, and upon hearing that you're in need of rooms, she gives you the quote of 4 individual rooms for a total of 2 gold.
I got it.
And she hands you each an individual key to your rooms and directs you upstairs to where they are, all relatively close to each other. Nothing. There's a couple that are not direct, but 2 of them are beside each other, but the other 2 are not directly connected, but close by. So each of you have a key to your room, and you are directed to your rooms.
As we go down, I will cast that in my room with me.
Gotcha.
Help Gracie protect me as I dream and so forth.
As I'm kind of going back to my own house, I'm going to create bonfire in my own house, trying to stay warm and keep the heat up as I am more comfortable in heat.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. Is there what are you casting Create Bonfire on in your space?
I would assume I have like a small sort of fireplace, essentially.
Okay, so you're basically just filling the entirety of the fireplace with a brick of fire.
Yeah, essentially, just to kind of keep the place warm, nice and toasty.
Okay. Even in a warm, arid desert climate, you light your fire and warm your scales and cozy up for a long night's rest.
That's not sent a picture in the chat of the daggers.
Excellent.
I want to take a stab at death.
That's kind of cool. That's a cool looking tattoo.
All right, so you draw it yourself just now?
No, God, no, I wish.
So anyway, you guys find evenings in your own ways, and you settle in for a long rest. Pelinel, you want to do something?
Yeah. So Pel gets back to his room. He sets out like a little block of incense, and he gets like his old little holy symbol he had, like puts it right beside of it. And I'm gonna cast divination, and hopefully this works.
Okay, let me read up on this real quick. You can kind of better guys. You ask a single question concerning something go over in 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply must be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. Spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome.
And I'm kind of just asking the saloon if specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. I'm not really sure like about that part. I just want to know like what that pulse thing was about. If she can like tell me anything.
Okay, so you're asking what the pulse was, what it was about in general. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on, see if I have a pen. Okay.
Okay. So, you sit and cast a spell and burning incense as an offering to Saloon. It being close to evening, you make your focus out the window, though no moon presents itself directly. It's still an object of reverence that you are at least searching for the moon. You form your question in your mind and maybe mouth the words as you think. And in a very hushed whisper as you hear through the night. Now, let me think how I'm going to describe this. Okay, in your mind, you hear a faint whisper in a voice that you recognize as basically whatever avatar of the deity you serve has presented to you in the past. And the voice says, presentation of a forgotten past arising. And that's basically what you get.
Oh. Well. Good night. That was cryptic as shit. Impale questions everything, goes to sleepy sleep.
Okay.
How late is it?
At this time, it is just past sunset.
I want to try to reach out to Brewster one more time.
All right. You pick up your one of many at this time sending stones and try to communicate into the stone. What are you saying in your message?
Just want to say we made any further progress on that particular thing I spoke to you about.
it doesn't take long for a reply this time, but Brewster replies to you. Oh, sorry about you, okay? About ran over my dog with the chair. Let's see. But it doesn't take him long to reply this time, and he says, I've been working on a couple of things. Got a couple of leads going on. Again, I'm not sure you're ready for this, but if you find yourself in my neighborhood, look me up. Okay. And with that taken care of, all of you find a long night's rest. No intrusions bother you this night.
I was going to add that before bed, since it's only just after sunset, Agbor spends some time thinking about the importance of a tattoo, and thusly attunes to it.
Well, the time it took you to manifest the tattoo from physical form was your attunement.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, never mind. Or I guess spend some time instead training the weight of his relatively newly acquired sword.
Understood. Okay. Well, you guys all gain the benefits of a long rest. Sorry, go on. I could barely hear you. Can you say again?
Studying.
Oh, cool deal.
Flint is studying. He hit you with that keynote. Studying. Our word.
Fucking studying.
All right. Well, having gained the benefit of a long rest, the sun rises and warms the sky, and light breaks in your individual rooms, lighting your rooms in various degrees throughout. And one by one, approximately at the same time, you all, including Alfred and Munson in their own ways, awake to a new day. And the day begins not like other days before it. From the time the sun breaks, there are people out and about in the streets, and the talk is loud enough that you hear it in your rooms, all of you in your spaces, except for perhaps Alfred, because Alfred would hear nothing but roaring training going on around him in his space. People clattering steel and swords and racing and sparring from dawn until later. But everybody otherwise would hear just talks and clamorings and preparations and cookings and otherwise for the event later today. Everybody in the city is excited for the contests of beasts.
Oh. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I almost forgot about that.
You almost forgot about the competition we're hanging out for?
Yeah.
I immediately go to the training room and start warming up and preparing once more.
Yeah, I just walk there and sit down and watch him prepare because I don't want to work that hard.
Well,
Understandable.
hell, what do you say we go round up Vorik and Flint and head down the pits?
Let's do it.
As I would get there, I would basic cast like mage armor on myself, prepare myself for everything that's going to happen today. It lasts for 8 hours, so it's not hard to do.
Easy enough. I know that Munson and Alfred are training and watching at the training grounds in front of the arenas. Are the other four of you headed in that direction, or what are you doing?
Yeah, we'll head that way. I'll speak
So
over.
I will take my nice stick and turn it into an arcane firearm.
Okay, that is fantastic. And you, I'm assuming you have the tools to do that, yes?
I do.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, so I'm trying to read this. It just becomes that, right? Like you choose your skill at that stage to create an arcane firearm.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, well, it does not take you very long, as being focused as you are, and maybe getting up a touch earlier than everyone else to get a head start on this. You craft the firearm in the nature of your choosing. Can you describe briefly what the newly crafted arcane blaster looks like?
Yes, it's about slightly heftier than the wand that Pel was so kind as to purchase for me. I haven't forgotten, and I will pay you back.
I already forgot about it.
I haven't. One of those things that they really frown upon in us scholars, forgetting things.
I mean, as long as you just don't let me die, we can consider it a debt repaid.
Right, I will do my best to not let you die.
Thank you.
Otherwise, it looks like a really cool wand.
All right.
With lots of lightning bolts and skulls carved on it.
Heck yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Get it, Flynn.
Well, I will have
Hate it.
I'll have any one of Ugbor, Pelnell, or Vorik make an intelligence check for me.
I think that's gonna fall to hell, 'cause I'm not that smart.
Dude, I will totally roll.
Go for it.
Sorry, Ugbor, Pelnell, or who?
Or Vorik.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
I think we're trying to figure out what that thing is.
Okay.
Hell, not the smart boys.
We lost our smart boy. He went insane right away.
Pel, you remember, Pel, something about having to register for this event.
Oh, yeah, we gotta register, guys. We should probably go.
Oh, yeah. Let's get to it.
We still don't have a name either.
Oh, we gotta tell Ghostbusters. Yeah, as we're going, we're having this discussion.
Are the other guys here yet?
Well, we need to not leave behind Flint.
Or the other guys here. They can throw in a half, we'll throw in a half. Maybe it'll work out like Tenacious D.
Well, I think Alfred actually, he might live at the pits. He's probably already there. And Munson will probably meet us.
Yeah, they seem pretty familiar with this place. This is good.
But yeah, I could go for that.
I'll follow you, gentlemen.
Hey, there he is.
So, kind of hobbling quickly towards the arena from the Morning Glory Inn. Vorik, Pel, Ugbor, and Flint make their way quickly to the training grounds in front of the arena. Getting there, you see just crowds of people. It is unlike any day of Sunder you have experienced so far in the handful of days you've been here. I have not kept track, but I think it's only been like 3 or 4 days. But this has not been like any of those days before. The streets, and especially the training grounds, are absolutely packed with people. Not quite shoulder to shoulder, but not far off either. Especially in the training grounds, people are sparring back and forth, barely making enough room to not get hit by people otherwise that are sparring beside them. There's training, sharpening of weapons, studying, both in studying the people around them and their techniques, and studying their own notes and materials, both arcane and otherwise. And in this mix, you eventually see Alfred and Munson amongst the group, having waded through quite a little bit of this.
I think we gotta sign up.
What did you say? I did not quite understand you. What?
I think we have to sign up to participate.
It's good to see you too. I'm glad you could make it. He's
What
like
do you
waving.
mean? What do you mean you guys did not sign up? Sign up already! Otherwise you will not get to be able to fight.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we gotta. Hey, we should go do that. Where do we do that?
Just follow the crowd. I'm sure they will draw you over there. You have to sign up next to the entrance.
All right.
Help! Where do we sign up?
I'll message Helena and inform him where the registry is, as I've gambled here plenty of times. I would know where it's at.
Thank you. Grabs on board. Let's go.
While we're walking over there, I want to go ahead and throw psychic whispers before we start getting into battle.
Okay, and who are you targeting?
I guess just Pale and Hugboard at the moment.
Okay, and Munson, who are you? What was the message you communicated, and to who?
It was just Helena to let them know. Just really quick, like very quick, precise details on where to register the team real quick. So I didn't have to get up and take them. I just basically told them.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys make your way to the champion circle underneath of the arena on the back side of the bear pit, and the champion circle is even more packed than the training grounds. There's a lot of people in here. Most of them are crowded around the entrance because at the entrance is where the table is set up for registry. You guys take your place amongst the crowd, and eventually, after several long minutes, make your way to the front, and you see an elf sitting at the desk. Are you guys competing in the contest?
Yes.
Okay, how many and what is your title? Should we introduce you by individual name or group title?
I think there's 6 of us. I don't know if the other 2 have already signed up. I assume they have, though.
Have you guys signed up, Munson and Alfred?
I would have before I walked in, yeah. But I would have put under, Ugbar listing as our name chooser, as I don't know what name they would pick.
I would have already signed up under my own name. They would just have to ask for that. I would have assumed that they would have already signed up, and I would have just signed up late.
I guess I should ask, are you all together, or are you participating separately?
We're all together.
All together, yes.
Okay, I have spoken with you two already. Are you actually competing with these other gentlemen?
They're separate. They're somewhere else, so they wouldn't be here to facilitate that combo.
Oh, I thought they followed you in.
No, I think they stayed.
Yeah, I'm still at the training arena, still prepping.
Okay, my bad. So yeah, you say 4 of you, or 6?
Yeah, there's 6 of us. 2 of us are already here. They've already signed up.
Oh, okay. Do you know the name?
Yeah, one of them you probably actually know, Alfred Whipplebottom.
Yes, I have. I see his registry here. He says Alfred plus Ugbor and Co.
That was Munson's.
Oh, that was Munson that did that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, I have it down here. It was designated as a group here. Was there a title you wanted to put, or should I write down your individual names?
Nugbor looks back at the group.
I was not individual names. Not individual names.
We
Not individual names. Group chat time.
Yes.
It must have to do with Gurky.
Gurk's jerk.
So
Gurky's angels.
now, Flint.
Gurky's angels.
Flint, you stand there as the other 3 look at each other silently.
The Gurky boys.
Well, you wouldn't hear any of this. This is in the minds of Warwick, Pelin, and Udboard. They're just standing there in reality, staring at each other silently. You don't hear anything.
Talking with our faces.
Yes.
Facial expressions only.
Yes. And Ugbor's like when Vork recommended the Gurky thing, Ugbor like a giant smile leapt across his face. I think we're gonna go with the crap. I lost it. What was the first thing you said?
Gurk's jerks.
Gurk's jerks. Oh, it was Pell. It was Pell. We're gonna go with Gurk's jerks.
Gurk's jerks. Okay. Let me write that down. And I will need your names for the registry here, just for our records.
Yes. Mine is Ugbor. Title Besmirch. Yes.
And besmirched. Got it. Next.
Hi, I'm Pilladale. No title.
You can work on that. No worries. Next.
Fred.
Fred. Okay.
My name's Fred.
I'll write down Fred. Okay. And who else?
Warwick.
Axinia. Got it. Okay. And the last member was Mance. Have that written down already? Okay. And that was 5. Was there another one? You said Alfred was the one?
Yeah. His name's Alfred. He seems to be pretty involved around here. Actually, I think he may be a previous competitor.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Well, your number is 14. Listen for your group name or number to be called. When you are called, we expect you to be at the gates over there, and he points down the champion circle just around the corner a little bit, but clearly visible is the main gate to the entrance of the arena. And the main gate, normally open, now has a large black curtain draped from top to bottom, blocking your view of the inside of the arena.
Okay. So we just need to meet up at the front then.
Yes, there are 2 attendants at the gate of the arena. They can direct you from there. Otherwise, you're free to wander about. Just make sure you keep your place in line. Otherwise, you'll be disqualified and dismissed. The contest, as you should know, it's been advertised, but I must go over it with everyone. The contest is to the death in 4 rounds. You may forfeit at any time between rounds, and you may use any means necessary. This is the bear pit, but during this contest of beast, you may use hands, weapons, or magic, or anything else you require to come out successful and provide a wonderful entertainment for our spectators and gamblers. If you were to forfeit at any time and not proceed to the next round of progressively increasing difficulty, then you will not qualify for the reward of 3,000 gold for completion, but you are completely within your rights to save your own necks if you think you have had enough. You may gamble freely, but it is not advised to gamble upon yourselves, because for one, it's not very worth it, and 2, if someone hears of you doing this, they might come after you accusing you of some sort of tomfoolery. We also have free water around the bend, freshly drawn, available to all competitors today. There are also a number of mages wandering the champion circle in beige robes. They are taking payment for reservation of spells. If you feel the need to reserve a healing or resurrection spell, if you are not able to do this yourselves or amongst your fellow competitors, you may reserve that so that when you are called to the arena, they will watch as your aides and render aid to you after the match is concluded, if it is possible. So that is an option for you as well, should you have need of that service. Any other questions?
After several rounds, should one exit the battle, is there a prorated reward? Not the full reward, but perhaps a portion.
Yes, if you complete the full round, the full 4 rounds It is a reward of 3,000 gold. I would not expect to make it that far, to be honest. If you do, good on you for that. But it is completely understandable if you were to tap out early. If you do, there is only one prorated reward, and it is 1,000 gold for round 3.
I have a question. Do you know who else has signed up?
I am not at leave to say, but you can safely assume that if they are in the pit at this time, they are most likely competing, or assisting those who are competing.
Akbor walks slightly away from the table and looks out into the pit. Does he see anybody?
You cannot see into the pit because of the black curtain in front of the door. That is the only access point into the pit from the champion circle.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, crap. Hey there, Munson.
Why, hello. I assume you've settled our name and got us settled for the battle.
Sure did. You want to know what we're called?
I'm assuming something amazing.
Oh, let me tell you. You're going to shit yourself. Gurks, jerks. Brilliant, isn't it?
I will accept this for now. It's doable.
Did you
Serviceable.
defecate?
Oh no, I didn't.
Here comes
told you you would.
Fred. I could hear him in the distance.
Okay. You guys hear from underneath of the arena even a loud blaring horn, like a war horn blown through the horn of an animal. And it's so loud that it can be heard basically throughout the city. And after the horn dies down in volume, you hear a voice of similar volume, amplified somehow. The contest of beasts will begin in 1 hour. Please, any last-minute competitors make their way down to the champion circle. Spectators, please gather your concessions from vendors and take your seats. The bloodbath is about to begin.
I'm so excited. I can't stand it.
And
What
the-
number in line are we?
Several days.
the noise is immense, both in the announcement and the cheering from people that are already
What number
here
are
and
we in
coming.
line? Do you know?
Something 14.
Yes.
14. That's a...
And the noise is immense from the announcer to the people that cheer after the announcement that are already here. The competitors around you also give a roar. There's people outside that are becoming thick with attendees who are going into the arena and seating themselves and getting ready. It's almost midday at this time. The day has gone quickly for you. Traveling here, getting set up, registering, finding friends. It's all kind of bled together, but it's been exciting. So that the hours have not been long for you.
As we're walking towards the champion area, I'm kind of like trying to get the whole party kind of closer in, so I'm not talking too loudly.
Oh, okay, listen real quick. I haven't been able to find much about the beast that we may be facing. But what I have gathered though is that we may be facing against some bearish creatures.
Okay.
Maybe packs of coyotes or wolves or something of that nature. But judging from the crowd, this is not the biggest event I see, but it's pretty big. I would expect maybe some rare, powerful creature. Maybe another griffin. It has been a while since they put one of those out. So expect something.
Well, I'm assuming if there's 4 rounds, it's just gonna get more difficult. So I'm assuming the last round will be the worst. I remember there's payouts for certain completion, but I don't remember quite what it was.
And so you mentioned payouts, huh?
Yes, I've gambled a lot. I understand the payouts and rewards and what you receive.
Well, That's interesting. So, how does a person go about maybe placing a bet on themselves without it
Highly
being tracked
unrecommended.
back to them?
That's very highly unrecommendable, considering most people can catch you pretty easily around here. A lot of magic being used, a lot of people watching.
Really?
Yeah, it's very unrecommended. Some of the other fighters may even stab you in the back. I've seen it happen a couple of times. It's highly unrecommended.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, trust me, I've thought about it overnight about replacing one yesterday on ourselves, but at the same time, last time I heard someone do that, they lost their head.
Why do they get their head?
So they could no longer speak. Yet breathe.
Do I have time to, like, do my artificer, why can't I think of the word? Infusions.
Do they take?
To be frank, I'm not very fluent in that yet. Can you please help me out with what that is?
So I kind of know a little bit. So you have to do those over a long rest. So you could like theoretically have done them the night beforehand.
Well, shoot.
I mean, depending that we're rank 14, or group number 14, there's 4 rounds. I would assume there's 14 groups ahead of us to fight. So I have a feeling we have at least a short rest, maybe even a long rest before then.
Not a long one. That would be too long.
Yeah, maybe a short and a half.
Being 14, yeah, it'd be about, let's say, give or take, depending on how well they do, I'd say about an hour or two maybe before we get stuck in battle.
As you guys are discussing this, you hear a call go out for Team 1, Vigor, to the gates! And there's a lot of shuffling and people are moving about.
Are we able to watch the spectacles?
No. You notice as Team 1, known as Vigor, goes into the area, there's 3 in that group. You can't discern who they are from this distance and crowd, but you see them go up to the curtain and wait on this side of the curtain.
Okay.
As a competitor, we don't get to view what we fight. Only as a gambler in the audience, you get to actually see what's happening.
Does anyone know their nature?
And I look over at Pell. So like, so you do magic stuff, huh?
Yeah, sometimes.
You got anything might be able to see past that curtain? Some kind of hovering eye?
No, I got eyeballs that could,
Oh, well, yeah.
but not magic eyeballs.
That's fair.
I mean, I could do something to get us in there, but the problem is it takes quite a bit of my magic already to do. If we really so desire, I can do it.
So you all cast this magic.
Your way into places.
While they're talking about this, Orc's gonna go ahead and slip away and try to stealth his way to see at least the first couple rounds.
Okay, duly noted.
I got no problem with what you guys. I can just,
What I know, being here many times, what I know that the mages with around the circle would be pretty much able to detect anything like that to try to sneak pack or view.
Yeah, you are very aware of, in your personal sphere, you have gambled a lot. You know the inner workings of this gambling, both in the casino and in the arenas, and you have taken your time to study those that protect the efficacy of such endeavors, and you are pretty certain that there are not just physical implements at play to keep the games as fair as possible.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I would let them know that I do have an ability that is, capable. However, in a place like this, it would be caught instantly, so I dare never to see what's on the other side without some kind of punishment, which I will not allow happen to my team, so I shall not do it.
Oh,
I
yes,
respect that.
yes, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I think, yeah.
Well, Alfred, you're always in the fights. You're never outside watching.
True.
My kind of man.
Interrupting your conversation, there is the announcer coming over the amplification again. Remember, no interference from spectators during the match. And as he does that, a loud roar of applause happens as he begins to speak. Violators will be escorted out by enforcement. These matches are team competitors against a wave after wave of mindless beasts. The competitors will be fighting to kill the beasts and vice versa. The fighting is to the death every round, with opportunity to surrender only between rounds. Betting will be accepted only after a new team is announced. Stay tuned for round 1.
Where did Vorik go? I want to see him.
Oh yeah, he's just right. Oh, wow. Huh.
Well, let's just hope he doesn't get us in trouble. Otherwise, we may have more than beasts to fight.
Well, he doesn't have to stay here. He can wander. I was just curious. I didn't see him disappear or leave us, so just curious.
He does that. He does that. He's followed me halfway across this continent, and he's pretty good at disappearing.
What is his weapon of choice, do you know?
His mind. He calls them daggers, but I swear to you, I've watched him throw them. There are no daggers. None.
I have an idea for a battle, but I need to talk to Vorik if I see him again before we start.
You say he throws into the broker, but he uses his mind, right?
Let's get in the group chat. Hey, Vork, where'd you go, buddy?
Let's say I'm scouting out the competition.
Oh. He's out scouting the competition.
I'll second
Yeah,
one.
lovely. Let's hope he doesn't get caught.
Well, if he can scout the other team, that's fine. That's not against the rules. I just hope he doesn't try to get through to the arena. That's where the punishment will begin.
And once again, over the announcer, interrupting your conversation between each other, the announcer goes off. Round 1 will now begin. Team 1, Vigor, party of 3. And the crowd goes crazy, and the people, if you are in view still of the arena's gates from the champion circle, you see the 3 that were standing there in anticipation kind of getting themselves pumped up. They're bouncing back and forth, getting their weapons gripped up, and the 2 attendants that are there, one of them steps aside and pulls aside the curtain and lets them go behind the curtain. And as they do, you hear the of a giant gate being dropped into the ground. Those of you who are familiar know that the giant barred gates of the arenas you slot into a field in the ground and then are ratcheted back up on a system that closes the door again. So after the gate opens, you assume the champions of the first team walk out into the field and are greeted with loud cheering, just people just encoring their appearance, and then you hear the tick 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 of people ratcheting up the gate back into place. Vorik, what are you trying to do at this time?
I was hoping to get in there and see if I could see the first round as far as beasts go, but I kind of want to scout it out before I do that and see how like heavily guarded it is.
Okay, make a perception check. You can speak. Oh, it is. Give me 1 second.
17.
Sorry. 17. With that, you see basically the only way in to the arena is this one gate on this side. And guarding this gate, it's about a little bit over 10 feet wide, but there are 2 guards in front of this gate, Both guards have their heel on a large black curtain on either corner. And this curtain, you notice, is entirely black. Like we're talking Vanta black. There is no light penetrating this curtain. I mean, it says push to talk. So.
Props, by the way, on the dropping the Van to Black. That's a neat thing that you knew.
Science. And you hear from the arena as the announcer announces round 1, and the other gate on the other side, you hear it drop. And the audience waits a second, and then cheers. And then another... Go ahead.
Can I get to this gate and at least listen?
Yeah, if you were to go around to the other side, the other gate on the arena has been blocked off. And I don't mean like by people, I mean they have walled off that section of the champion circle for the time being.
Yeah. I just want to see if I can hear at least.
Yeah, make me, well, we'll go with the same perception check because you're looking for the same thing. From that side, you don't hear much, primarily because of the stone wall that's been placed there and because of the just volume of sound from the competitors around you talking and thinking and strategizing, and the fighting going on upstairs, which, by the way, starts to clash. You hear a moment of silence after the cheering, and then a lot of stone clattering against metal and fire and just sounds of battle happening above you. And for all of that, you cannot determine any kind of sound coming from the direction of the other gate.
That sounds like a lot of people up there. I hope no one from my mother's prayer circle is in the crowd.
Well,
I hope the whole prayer circle's there.
For me, I'm getting caught and potentially getting myself kicked out of here or killed. I want to go scout the other competitors.
Okay. We'll say that you see a lot of people that you don't know. Barring just a couple that you've seen in passing, but nobody really of note. Definitely you don't see Wallen or any of the other champions here. And you don't notice anybody of particular nature, nor anybody that you've sparred with before in the Chaos Cage or anything like that.
So, is there any teams or individuals that look more that may be a problem, or like
Any
more
teams that look really capable?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, it's my understanding that we're just fighting the beast, but I think Vorik might be assessing like their general preparedness for combat.
Yes.
Right, gotcha. No, it's hard to tell who's with who at some points. You see some people clustered around each other, and you gather in some spaces it's hard to tell. Some people might be individuals competing by themselves. To what degree of strength, it's hard to tell because not all strength is external. Not all strength is non-magical. So it's hard to discern everybody's individual power or their prowess with what they've experienced. But you can at least see the number of competitors. And judging generally as you walk through and see who's talking to who, you see a lot of teams of 2, 3, 1s, 4s, and a team of 6. The team of 6 is made up mostly of dwarves and very tall humans.
What weaponry do they have?
That team in particular is wielding a lot of very large axes, hammers, and swords.
Question. As all this happened, looking around, as he's looking around, and I walk through, would I know any of the people who were battling today besides, obviously, Alfred?
Roll a history check, Benson.
16 plus 5, 21.
With a 21, you recognize some of them pretty handily. These are competitors you've seen fight each other, individually based or group. and a couple of the names of the group stand out. Cosgrove is an individual who you see, and he's very prowessed in magic. He is not anywhere close to the reigning champ of the Chaos Cage, but he is he's very capable. But you don't see him speaking to anyone. He's kind of appearing by himself, so you don't know who he's with, if anybody. You see a couple other names, a couple other teams that you're aware of. For example, there is one group that is a team of 3. They go by the name Encumbered, and they are a team who is very good at tricking and trapping any opponents they go up against. They're well versed in deception in that way. There is a team of humans that try and fail over and over again, and they keep coming back. Their spirit is great. Everybody, they love them. People love to see them compete just purely for the repetition and for their failure to give up.
I remember betting for them for losing. I remember those feelings. Yes.
That team is just a bunch of very strong, well-built, dark-skinned humans, and there's one who's the obvious leader, who is just a touch more muscular than the rest, and they go by the name Terry and crew.
Human leader's named Terry, huh?
I don't tell anyone in the group that I know this, but I just kind of study around and look and, kind of wait in my head how I think they will do based on previous experiences.
Do they do the robot a lot?
What about me? Would I be able to recognize any past comrades or past enemies that I would have fought with or against?
Sure.
I get drunk most times.
Make a history check.
Dude, is that a 1? Oh, okay, that's fine.
I was about to say, I'm not really good with it. I'm going to go with my real dice next time.
Yeah, with an 8, you recognize a couple people. The most obvious to you is a group that annoys you, kind of. They are a foreign-speaking group made primarily of Tabaxi, and they think more of themselves than they actually are, and they are called Syndicate.
I just walk up to them, like past them, and just say meow.
Hey, no, you gotta hit us with that voice changer. Meow us.
Okay.
Meow.
Yes.
Did that go well?
They pay you little mind.
It sure did.
Well, maybe I can distract them a little.
I want to go around students,
As
me.
for racism. Well done, Alfred. You're really showing your character.
The announcer comes up. In the time that you've investigated, the dancer has gone through several rounds and several groups. You've kind of stopped listening so much. You're listening for your name and your group number, but you've been primarily listening to the sounds of battle upstairs and looking around at the faces of people around you who are about to go and fight something that they're probably not prepared for. And the announcer announces for group number 8 to come up.
Judging from the...
You go ahead.
Judging on the fact that these groups are going relatively quickly, and so far we haven't really noticed anyone come back.
Yeah, it's a real meat grinder up there, isn't it?
I have a feeling we're going to be facing some pretty ferocious beasts. So I'm going to go ahead for them. Oh yes, I'm pretty sure if I had a chance you'd be quite ferocious in bed. But that is a off topic. I'm gonna go ahead and cast True Strike on everyone preemptively.
Don't
That
knock it into
should
your head.
last at least until the end of the battle.
Okay, that sounds good. Are you excited for the fighting? Doesn't it just make your loins ache?
Well, my loins have been aching since I haven't had anything, do anything with it. But it does feel good to be back in the arena once more. It's been a while.
Just so you know, with True Strike, you have to you have to designate your target for True Strike.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like targeting everyone in the party.
No, I mean you have to designate the target you're going to attack in the next round.
Yeah, but it lasts for 8 hours, so I'm just kind of preemptively doing it for whoever wants to target when we get to the fight.
Oh, so I'm sorry, you said True Strike, right?
True Strike, yes.
Yeah, no, it lasts for 1 round. It's for 6 seconds.
Let me double check that. I might be misreading something then. I'm pretty sure it lasts 8 hours.
1 round. That's the duration.
While he's looking for that, I want to go around and just kind of sabotage everybody's shit they have on.
Of course.
Okay, sabotage in what way?
Maybe loosen some sheaths, you know, mess with some belts, boots, anything that will give them a disadvantage when taking all these beasts.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll a stealth check, and while you're doing that, actually, no, we'll do a sleight of hand check. And while you're doing that, I'm going to say that of the groups that have gone up and come back, 8 at this time, there have only been 3 to come back out. And of the 3, you don't know how many went up. It's hard to keep track of the numbers, but you don't think all of them came back in all cases. And you don't know of anyone that has completed all 4 rounds. So some probably have surrendered.
Okay. I got a 19.
Okay, with a 19 sleight of hand, you go through the crowd, making your way back to your group, and as you do, you take out a dagger. You do have a dagger, don't you? Like a normal plain dagger?
I have I believe I have a physical dagger.
Okay. You take your physical dagger out and just hold it at your sides, and occasionally just, as you walk past somebody, take a very light swipe against their belt and you kind of nick their belt halfway, and you go through somebody else and you see somebody with a sheath that has been ratcheted onto their armor very roughly. It looks terrible, but that's how they have it done. You go through and you take your dagger and put it right in the slit of the nut holding it on and kind of loosen up a little bit. And you're doing all this quickly as you're just walking through. You just bump, bump, bump here, there, swipe there, loosen this. And you're going through and just giving everybody a little bit of a tap.
So, yeah. I don't know where I...
Oracle dagger.
We need to consider strategy. Save the proper spells for the right time. Kind of do targeting tactics. I mean, when it comes to arena battles, going out widely, trying to one versus one all the time, leaving yourself out in the open. These are wild beasts. We really need to consider what we're doing, what our plan is. I have certain spells I'd like to use more in the later game to help us out, not more in the earlier game. But I'm always up for advice, decisions, plans, whatever you guys may have in your mind.
How many guys do we have that need to be up close?
That's what I was going to ask. How hardy are some of you all?
I believe Oakbar's the only one that looks hardy, doesn't he? Well,
Yes.
I guess
Well, Alfred, too.
I can take a few punches. I may not have the armor of Ugbo, but I have a few scars that I have made myself tough.
Pale-Ale's like decked out dragon armor. Red dragon armor.
Are you
I'm
a
armor.
right?
Yeah.
I thought you had the holy symbol right, or you had the shield that's painted.
Yeah.
You know those in high school, you know those those fuck boys that are riding around in their dad's Corvette? That's kind of what Pell looks like right now, in his fancy new suit of armor that he definitely didn't earn.
Royal fuckboy, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I will say, I will contact you about that. Like, where did you get that dragon armor?
From your family, of course.
Perhaps even from your mom.
That's what I was about to say. That's all.
Your mom.
Group 13, Cosgrove, champion of 1.
But, no, I would say, we all need to stick together. And depending on how many beasts we get faced off against at once, it would be wise to stick together as we can just protect our flanks from everyone.
What I mentioned is that I feel like of the people here, now I don't know some of you, so I can't really speak to this, but I know that when I fight, I get hit a lot. And it turns out I can get hit a whole lot. That might be something we want to save and utilize in later rounds. So for the first round, it might not be a great idea if I'm not front.
I can basically beat up front at the first round, and then Ugbar can swap with me when I start getting I have some close range weaponry at my disposal, but after that, I can start dishing out longer range. I also have a couple of utilities that would help us as well in case they do little things.
I have a spell. That's about it.
I have an idea that may help us mitigate
Okay.
a head-on onslaught. Sort of split
Group 14, gate side.
Okay.
14, Garrick's Jerks.
Oh, wait, what?
We're next. We are next, not yet. They're doing 13 right now. We are next.
Okay.
So I know an illusory spell that allows me to create, well, an illusion. And I found that a pit full of snakes is generally avoided by any living
Yeah.
the dumb ones.
Yeah.
So you want to make them believe there's a pile of snakes and make them scared.
Yes. Or I could make it appear to be spikes.
Okay.
What would you prefer? I think there is a natural repulsion involved surrounding snakes. So
I like the idea of using the snakes. If we fear them, that'll be easier.
What about a pit surrounding us completely? It might offer a little bit of a protection all around us and keeping the enemy at bay.
I don't think that would work, as it wouldn't. It's an illusion. Walk right through.
They could, yes, but it might buy us a few extra seconds of time for us to thin out the herd if there's more than one. Having an illusion all around us might, keep them back.
Who, in your guys' opinion, besides the ability to cast large spells, who is our physical, consistent damage dealer that might want advantage every round?
This guy right here. Hey, Ugboard, you still got that ring I gave you?
Let's see, Pelena's breastplate. If it was a ring of any value, I lost it when we talked to the lady.
No, I think I got it to you after, because for Cody's, or that fucking, for Warden Bond, because Cody had that ring and I got it off of him.
Oh yeah. I never added that to my inventory because I'm a lame.
It's just a platinum ring.
Oh yeah, no, that I did lose that. That platinum ring had none.
What?
That would be the case, yeah.
Oh no, wait, no, it's here. It's here. I lied. It's buried, but it's underneath my botany notes.
Oh, did you get that after the fact?
Yeah, I think Pel's original thought was correct. Yeah.
Because it was like after, and I was like, oh fuck. And I was like,
A ring Pel had me to wear. Yeah, you gave it to me. You gave it to me when you gave me the breastplate.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Because that's when I went through. I started renaming all my custom items so I'd actually know what they were. And yeah, that's what's happened here.
Okay, well I don't want to use my advantage ability on our tank. I need it to be on somebody who can go in and out without,
Well, they're not going to be doing physical damage, but I can tell you who consistently hits like a brick truck, and that would be a boy Vorik.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'm thinking round 3 or round 4, Vorik. I have a spell I can cast on you, which would give you straight advantage at every turn.
You guys hear a loud roar of cheers as the gate drops to the ground, and one person hobbles out of the arena past the curtain, almost falling down, one hand on the wall, another hand on his stomach, very torn up clothes, and he gets a pat by one of the guards as he goes by. He immediately falls in onto the ground in the main champion circle, and gets picked up by one of the mages walking by, who then begins to heal him, and the gates get ratcheted back up, and the guard standing in front of you looks at your group and says, "You guys ready?"
Ugbor pounds his chest like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it!"
Who, was this guy a group? Part of a group?
Hearing the announcement from before, this was a team of one.
Yeah, that's
I want to roll a perception check real quick on him and see if the wounds were claws or bites or just kind of what type of wound it was.
Sure, go for it.
Also, I'm gonna
Jesus Christ, I only had a 6.
Their wounds, you don't know if they're from daggers, claws, rocks that he fell on. It's hard to say.
Okay. I am not rolling good weapons, so don't expect me to do much today in combat.
What were you saying,
Hey,
boy?
sometimes that happens, man.
I was gonna say, Bork was gonna reply to what Munson said and be like, that's a plan. As long as we can keep a tank.
Yeah, my idea is to keep you completely hidden from view so you can go and destroy without ever being spotted.
Especially if we have a tank, Ugbor, or Alfred, whoever's hitting.
So Alfred should be in the front. I should probably be right behind Alfred, and then you guys on the back line.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure there's nothing huge like dragons or anything like that, because if we're too close, it's an instant death.
Has anyone witnessed or watched an event like this here before?
Yes, I've seen many.
Are there obstacles typically?
Would I know that, DM? What kind of obstacles may appear, or is it random?
There are a number of obstacles, barriers, and overall just fun arena constructs put in play for variation, rather than having a flat open field.
Yeah, and it changes every so often, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. No, it's randomized. Different objects, different obstacles, falling, spears, pits. It's random. It's not really rated per day.
As long as there's something I can hide behind or climb on top of, we'll be fine.
Group 14, Gurks Jerks, party of 6, make your way to the field. And the gate just drops before you, and one of the guards holds the curtain back of pure darkness so that you can enter.
Can I cast the spells as we walk in?
You can certainly try.
Before I walk through the gate, I will do that on myself.
Anticipation.
Sure thing.
Yeah, it lasts for an entire hour, so.
As
We stepped away for a moment.
as we walk in, I'm just fucking, waving to the crowd and shit like that. Just pumping up and everything. You can just see me. I'm just in my element. This is where I belong,
Yeah. So Flint needs to step away. Shall we take a brief intermission?
Yeah, I'm down for that. I need to take a piss anyway.
Sure, I did not even hear that. Yeah, we'll take 5 and we'll come back in a minute.
That gave everyone a great idea.
You there, Justin? I guess Destin stepped away too.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back so fast?
Yep, I'm back. Yeah.
We all are.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I don't think we are. Munson, Pale.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Pale's, we're good. Waiting on
I think Dash is still on.
Dash and Dustin, I believe it.
Yeah. Oh. So how's the
Interesting.
yeah? How's the voice changer going today? Is it going smoothly?
Yeah, it's going pretty smoothly. I will say that this time, actually, it's gone away as we've gotten further into the session. But at the beginning this time, it was a little harder to understand you. But I don't know if you've done any tweaking or changed how you're speaking into the voice changer. But it's a lot clearer now.
Maybe I don't know. I haven't really done any tweaking on the voice mod itself. I mean, I've been kind of talking more in like a Russian accent into it. Maybe not as deep. Maybe that's why.
I think you've been maybe the Russian accent. I think you've been like enunciating a little bit more, and that makes it a lot easier to hear because in that lower register, it kind of feels like sometimes the words blend a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I caught a little, I also caught a little of, like, a really offensive Italian accent.
Mamma mia!
I grew up, let's see, my mom, she would go home from school in the evenings, and her mom would be speaking Italian. So I'm like 2 generations away from somebody who
any accent I do, I'm trying not to be offensive. If it happens,
it's interesting that the Russian accent that you described was, or that the accent you described was Russian because of the things that my background comprises of. I am 3% more Russian than I am Italian, which was a huge upset because, like, I've lived my whole life as somebody who was mostly Italian.
I am more European than the Europeans themselves. That is what fucking DNA thingy said.
I have an ancestry tree all the way back to the 1500s on my dad's side. That's how I found out I was Russian.
As far as I know, my family had owned a castle in the Connaught region of Ireland. And on my mother's side, they were a vassal to the Habsburg family during the Holy Roman Empire area. I don't know exactly which part of Russia, Germany they were part of, but that's all I
legit.
know.
The coolest thing that happened in my family tree is that one of the swans was knighted by the king. And, in Britain at one point. I don't know for how long. It's from what I can tell from ancestry, it seems like he didn't spend a huge amount of time there. I think he was doing something with ships.
The funny thing is, I actually used to date a girl who was related to the Habsburgs.
Oh wow! Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who are we still waiting on? Anybody?
I don't think anyone at this point. I think we're all here. Yeah, I think Dash is back.
Yeah, Dash is back. He is.
Warwick, Matt, roll call.
Yeah. All right.
Channing, you in?
He was here.
Warwick was first back.
No, well, okay, maybe he put it up for another second.
Does that give him a bonus to his initiative?
Yeah, it should.
Well, I don't think that counts anymore because he's not here anymore.
Yeah, he left, dude.
Warwick, you'll be the first one to receive my fireball.
I'm gonna do Vigilant Bless and give myself advantage on my next initiative.
You know what I'm going to do?
Cool,
I'm
cool.
going to continue to exist as an berserker orc and have advantage on my initiative anyway.
I'm gonna just hide and watch what happens.
Goddamn rogues.
Camping is a legitimate strategy.
Definitely not a rogue. Definitely not a rogue.
Unless you're a sniper. Snipers don't count.
I mean, you don't know.
I mean, world history and military strategy would dictate otherwise. But you're right, I don't know. I've never actually been in the army.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go blue, and I think I'm gonna go black for my damage die, and I think I'm gonna go green for my d20.
Can't wait till start so I can go ahead and start casting my defensive magic.
Well, I've got all Petri disc purple here, so you can figure that out.
Are we all back?
Yeah.
We're all back.
All right. As you guys enter the arena,
Ooh, buddy.
you're met with a round of thunderous applause as you are waiting for me to start this stupid track. Why isn't that starting? Hang on, my thing's messing up. And well, poop. Okay, we'll do this one. You guys enter the arena, and the crowd cheers as all 6 of you enter. Right about here. Let me make that available for you.
Yeah, I just get black screen.
Yep,
Yeah, we got a Fanta Black Puree right now.
yeah, I'm on it. Hang on 1 second.
No,
Why
you're
is it
not.
not showing
I'm
me?
blind! I'm blind!
That's it.
Don't turn off the sun.
Why is it not letting me show stuff?
I don't know.
This? Did they change it? No,
That's a good
not
question.
it.
I've installed roll.
You know-
I'm trying to delete my recycle bin. How do I do that?
Never mind, found it, I think. Hang on, there we go.
You know,
You
I
guys
think they
enter-
found-
You guys enter the arena right there at that gate. And as you enter, you see a stadium full of people and a wall directly in front of you.
All the wall.
I still see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Where do we enter in from again, Dustin?
That gate right there. Yep, exactly.
That's all the wall.
The wall directly in front of you is about 30 feet wide and about 30 feet tall.
Okay, that's manageable.
And you
I'm
enter.
gonna go ahead and quickly run up to the corner and try and peek around, see what's around.
Yeah, Alfred, you take the lead. I'm on your 6.
You enter the arena, and let me put your tokens down real quick.
I'm gonna kind of hang back out of everybody.
Is this place like domed or anything?
I'm trying to think. Is that everybody? Flint, are you in? Flint, is it? Flint's in there. Munson. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing?
You're missing me.
It's
okay.
stated at the top that we are not like actually domed in, like not by a cage or anything. This is just a 30-foot pit.
Now, curious you should ask. As you looking around, you would see that there is a massive chain net that is hanging from pillars. Like the chain is connected to different sides of the circle all the way around, and this chain net hangs about 150 feet up in the air, and there are chains dropping down from that in sort of a skirt fashion around the arena, separating the attendants from the actual battle by giant, heavy, rusty chains in a giant caged-in area.
You mean like the net behind Coldplay?
Basically, but around the entire arena and above it, you vertically as well. You're in a space that is entirely contained. There's open air above you. You see the sky beyond the chains, but you are in a well-enclosed space.
DM, I noticed that I can't move my token.
Is that right? Well, that ain't right.
Yeah, I can. While you're fixing that, upon noticing that, I tell everyone, I have a feeling we're going to be meeting some flying beasts. Beware, keep your eyes to the sky.
Alright.
It says you have ability to edit that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't even edit anything. My token.
Me neither.
Are you on the right layer? Like if you click on your the left options on the left of the screen, like are you on the select option and selecting your character?
Select move, yeah.
I select move.
Yeah, I can't.
Let me reload Roll20. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, they might just need to see if you give them access to their character.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I did. I gave you guys access to edit and control it, I believe.
Let me reload.
We've had it in the past. That's why it's weird. I've noticed that it's worked in previous sessions.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
I have no issue. Mine works just fine.
That's so weird. I just reloaded, and it's still doing it. I'm gonna maybe try reloading again.
It could be. Not sure.
Yeah,
I don't have access to it still.
Yeah, everybody's the same. Everybody is in player's journals for me and the character, or the player rather, and then can be edited and controlled by me and the character.
No, I wanted to.
Can you guys look at the journal and maybe try and drag your token out of there yourselves and see if that works?
That's what I did. I went to the journal and dragged mine out myself.
Yeah, I'll try and delete the ones I see.
There you go. I got mine. That worked.
Yeah, there's me.
Ah.
The other me.
The other me.
Kill the non-moving tokens.
Yeah, so you guys, I guess for some reason it's being weird. You guys have to drag your own token out of the journal and onto the map.
Alfred, in the top right of Roll20, there's a right next to the text, the chat box. There's one that says journal, and that's where you.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do it, but my thing is weird.
Yeah, for me, I had to instead of grab it by the token.
I know.
So by the text, I had to grab it by my name.
Sorry, that was my fault. I know what was wrong. I was dropping you guys onto the map layer, not on the token layer, so you couldn't drag your token. That's my bad.
Ah, there we go. You fucker.
It was not us, but you were on the wrong layer.
'Twas me.
Alright.
Okay, I do not see Alfred.
Yeah, I don't know. Here we go.
I'll put you on there. Can you control it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on the map now. You can see the map. Hey, let me get back to the thing now and try and reveal areas. Okay, awesome. So this is what you guys see. Now, what are you doing? Are you guys moving into into where you're at right now?
Yeah, right now Alfred is like taking point. He's kind of squad leader. So.
Okay. So while we got that figured out, that was just the first couple of seconds of you being introduced, and the crowd is going crazy. After you enter briefly and get some applause, the announcer says, "Round one," and you hear the other of the gates dropping on the other side. So Alfred is on the edge here, and this is what Alfred can see. Is that much right there, and more over here. Oops. There we go. And up to this point too.
What is this that Alfred's looking at?
That is...
A pillar, maybe?
That is a pillar, yes. That is a pillar that you're clicking on. It's a stone pillar that has a base and goes up 20 feet into the air, not as tall as the wall before you. There's a pile of rocks and a crumbled wall further beyond that right over here. Yep, correct. Yes, correct. And beyond that, down there is a giant boulder that stands about 15 feet tall and 20 feet around. And that's what you see from your vantage. And after
how tall are these? Like, are they just like 5 feet tall?
Yeah, that crumbled wall is roughly person height. It's about 6 feet tall or so, but parts of it are broken and fallen down.
Okay.
That's what's in front of us, the
That is correct.
I'm gonna go ahead. How tall are these? Are they like climbable right here? These like group of boulders?
Yeah, that group of rocks is about maybe 7 feet tall. Okay. And after a second, you hear the crowd start to cheer as something happens. You can't see anything yet. And I'll have everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Okay.
Hey, so is the lighting in this place like how it is on the map?
Basically, yes. We'll say yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot
So,
about that.
can somebody tell me how, with advantage, I only rolled a 4?
I got 7 with advantage.
You can give me a 11. I just forgot to put my token on my first roll.
Gotcha. So Vork with a 17,
Love
Alfred
this track, by the
11,
way.
Vork got a 4. You love the what?
I like the track.
I actually had a better one than this, but I downloaded it from like a YouTube MP3 thing, and it's not working.
Ah, well, this one's awesome.
And we got Hill at 7, Flint at 6.
You could technically use the thing on Discord since we're talking on here now.
Use what thing?
I can't remember which one, but you could play music on here.
Yeah, there's a, it's called, yeah, it's a bot. I can, Dustin, if you're interested in those, I'm pretty well versed. I can hook you up, but otherwise this setup is fine.
Okay, cool. We'll look into it later. Let's see. I got Vork, Alfred, Pell, Flint. I don't have Ugbor, which is 4.
I think you got a 4.
Yeah, let's see. I got Ugbor, Flint, Pell, Alfred, Vork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing 1. Who am I missing?
Mine's in there, it's
Yeah.
written in
Yeah.
18. I see it.
Yeah, Munson got an 18.
I see it there. All right.
He rolls.
Okay.
dice. I love my dice.
So, are you guys? What are you guys doing? Are you doing anything right now?
Alfred, we should move up, man. Something's happening.
Yes, I agree. I think we could get on top of that rock. It offers a little bit of height advantage and will allow our passive ranged personnel to attack over our melee.
Okay. I'll follow you. I'll take the rock with you.
So we all move together then?
You and I are. I think the rest are following.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll wait till you guys move up before I move, even though my initiative's high, I'll drop it down so I don't have to go first for the first round.
That's how the wall around the outer part of the room.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move on top of the rock.
The outer part is like the outer ring separating spectators from the pit is roughly 30 feet.
Yeah.
But again, it's covered in chains that go up higher than that. But since Ugbor and Alfred are moving up there, this is what you see now. And coming around the side of the wall, you hear, just as quickly as you see them, are 4 black bears that are roaring and sniffing the air, trying to find something that is in here with them.
Ugbor's blood runs cold
And that's
immediately.
not what I wanted. Hang on.
I want to climb this thing.
Holy, get that damn tree out here!
Well, like I said, I'm not using actual things, but I don't have anything really to work for this.
So is this center a pit? Is that a pit?
Yes, that is a spike pit.
Okay, so I can see over it then.
That is correct.
We can even push things in there.
Alfred, this is kind of a bad time for me to tell you this, buddy, but these black bears, this is there's something you don't know about me, and well, it was kind of life changing, and it involves those. I think I'm okay. It's just been a while, been a long time.
As you guys charge to the top of the pile, the bears see you and begin to run your direction.
Well, I don't know what they did, but now is not the time. You must push through your fear. If you become the best you can be, okay? You must push through whatever has happened in your past. Like I said before, the past means nothing. Only the now and the future matters.
Munson, it is your go being first in initiative.
I will
What are you
release
doing?
a fireball or a firebolt at this one here.
Okay, roll. That's a roll to hit, right?
Yeah, I rolled a 20 to hit.
That's going to hit. Roll some damage on that.
So 2d10, 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay, good to know. The fire hits the bear, who is singed greatly and lets out a roar of pain.
And then I will just stay there because I've already used my movement, so I'm good.
Okay, next in roll is Vorik. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to climb the wall.
Okay, you don't have a climbing speed, so I'll have you make an athletics check. Or acrobatics, either way. Fair enough. Takes you a second, but no more than your allotted time, and you make it to the top of the wall, peering over the top. Now that will take all of your movement, though.
I'll throw 2 daggers at this one.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
At this point, would he, never mind.
14 hits. You can roll damage on that one.
Ignore that sneak attack. Unless they don't.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask. Technically, I don't know if they would have noticed you since you just clambered up on that wall and started slinging daggers.
To be honest, it does not matter. You throw a dagger at that bear. Now, it was the first one closest to you, right?
Yeah, the one that Munson, yeah.
Yeah, as you throw a dagger, the dagger hits it, and the bear immediately... the bear notices you just in time to take the dagger into its shoulder, but the damage is enough that it just falls over from internal damage, and it is dead.
Other dagger at this one.
Okay, so you can roll to hit on that one. Yeah, I think... Wait, yeah, I think a 29 is going to hit.
It's got AC 50.
Sure, we're bone. That is some big ass looking bears.
Okay, 15 damage. Good to know. The dagger hits, and the bear roars in pain directly at you. Is there anything else on your turn?
No.
Okay. Then that brings us down to the bear's turn. And they are going to charge directly at the ones that they can reach currently, which is going to be Ugbor and Alfred. So let's see here. What's the distance on that?
Close enough.
Let's see. 30 is right there. Yeah, they're going to be able to move. At least this one is.
I meant to ask you earlier before this started.
Go for it.
Can the ghost step tattoo, can it be used as a reaction?
I don't remember. Do you have the chance to look it up while I'm dealing damage?
As far as what's on here, it's a bonus action.
Okay, so it's a bonus action then?
Yeah.
Then there you go. Yeah, so that one bear manages to get to Ugbor, and it is going to, as it runs at you, it's going to try to hit you with its claws while biting you. So It's going to be a 3 to hit with the bite. And a... let's see, what's the modifier there? 19 with its claws.
So 19 hits.
Okay. So that's going to be a total of 6 damage to you, slashing damage.
Okay.
And that's where the bear's going to end its turn, and it's going to just look at you with its mouth open. It missed its bite, but as it closed its jaws, it's now looking at you after it hits you with its claws, and just is staring you down face to face. The other bears didn't quite make it the distance in their turn. Moving on, it is Alfred's turn.
Could do this, but problem is,
Pale, you're on deck.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and release my fire breath. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's I believe it's a 15 foot cone. Maybe you're all within range. Wait, let me double check. I didn't actually check. Damn it, I really needed that smaller. Why is that? Nope, they're not all within range, so never mind, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go do Firebolt on the one furthest from the bar. This one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so roll a hit on that. Yeah, 14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage, please.
Alright. Where is it?
Firebolt's 2d10?
Yeah, it's like B10, and then he looks like he gets a modifier with his.
Dang, alright. Yeah, so 20 damage. You cast Firebolt, and this bear just... It hits him directly, almost in the snout kind of directly as he's charging at you. And the fire just engulfs him, and you hear him basically cook very quickly, and then he skids to the ground mid-charge as his charred body just flops over itself as it ends his life. So, is there anything else on your turn?
No, I don't think so. Unless I have bonus action stuff somewhere, but I don't think I do.
Bonus action movement or speaking or anything like that.
No, I just kind of give word of encouragement to push past the field.
Okay. Pale, it is your go.
So which one of these did Bork hit? Did he hit that one earlier?
Yeah, Ugbor hit the one directly in front of him. Or, no, I'm sorry, Vorik hit the one directly in front of Ugbor.
Oh, this one right here?
Yes, I believe so.
I think this is like 20 feet. I did it a second ago. And I'm just going to cast Sacred Flame on that one.
Okay, go ahead and... now, Sacred Flame is a save, is that right?
Yeah, it's a dex save.
Dex save.
16.
How dexterous is this bear? The bear has a 5 plus something. It's 5 plus 0, so 5.
So it fails.
So go ahead and roll me some damage.
So I can take 4 damage.
4 damage is what it had left. Describe to me what happens to this bear.
Well, it took 10 damage altogether.
10? All the same, he's gone.
I run over and I just look over at it and snap my fingers and like little I don't know, light, not, hold on. It's like silvery, like little flames just like appear around it and just like kills it, burns it alive with radiant damage.
And Ibor, as you're getting over your fear and trying to work through yourself, as you look at this bear staring you in the face, having just attacked you, a white hot energy just comes over your shoulder and just envelops the bear and scorches it down out of your face.
You can do it, buddy.
Okay, thank.
Okay, unless there's anything else for you, it is Flint's go.
Okay. So I.
I mean, of all the things we could be fighting right now, it had to be black bears.
Typically black bears.
Something I'm curious about, I just realized, I think I have OBS set up to just record my microphone. It has no regard to my push-to-talk on Discord, so everything I was saying in the background of my wife, you guys want to hear too. It doesn't matter, it's just fine.
Okay.
You dirty talking.
Yeah, whatever gets you going.
I hate these fucking guys. God damn it.
I wish these guys would hurry the fuck up, take their tattoos, and get the fuck on with it.
Come the fuck on.
Actually, Warwick, you're going to hear my wife, as you said that you're going to sabotage everybody. My wife in the background said, "I approve of that." So that's fun.
I'm gonna hear what?
My wife saying, "I approve of that."
Prove it what?
You sabotaging.
Sabotaging the other contestants.
Hell yeah. Man, Rogue, what else does Rogue do?
Sorry, I was interrupting there. Flint, what are you doing?
This is not the time for measuring dicks. Come on.
Wow. Munson's got like what, 50 feet there? That's, man, putting the rest of us to shame. Where do you keep it?
I roll it up.
Ah.
God, I'm there comfortable.
Hey, you gotta blow it to grow it though.
Yeah.
You're very quiet.
Sorry, I wasn't talking to the mic. Move up here. And
All right.
I'm going to use my wand to cast. Oops. Yes, I will use my. God damn it. Okay, I will use my arcane firearm and my wand and just use acid splash and give it to him with both arrows.
Okay,
So that's my attack and my bonus action.
so those are both roll to hit, correct?
What's that?
Are those both roll to hit, or what's the effect on that?
They are saves.
Saves. What kind of save do I need?
Dexterity save.
That is a natural 1. Well, the bear's making a save, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the bear rolled a natural 1. And, okay, I see the damage there, sorry. So that's 8 damage to the bear. Good to know. And was that, you said you made 2 spell attacks?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a neat trick.
And the second dex is a 6 plus 0, so yeah, that's a failure. So 6 and 8 is 14. Tell me how you want to, what happens to the bear as it melts from acid.
I mean, it just gives out not a roar, like a roar as if it were going into the water, sort of like gurgling. And I
Oh, so it speaks my language.
and then I take out my just, take the cigar out of my mouth, tap the ash off of it, fix my glasses, and stand ready.
As the bear falls, the crowd cheers and celebrates your victory. And shortly after, the announcer goes, "After round 1 has concluded, we are on to round number 2, unless the contestants decide to surrender." And you see somebody in the box over here who's waving at you and giving a thumbs up, thumbs down. Waiting on a response.
Thumbs up, yeah.
Okay, after saying,
I look at over at Luke, Unborn, and ask, are you okay? Are you wounded?
No, he scratched me. It's a mental. I gotta get through it. Hopefully, the next round will also be black bears. I know I'm not that lucky, but I can hope.
Larger black bears.
Yeah, right.
every round is just progressively larger
I
bears.
have a feeling we will not be facing the same type of animals. Sure, even if it's in larger, bigger quantities.
Oh no.
And then I yell at Bork, Lord, good idea getting a step of wall. You will be a great spot up there, spot the enemy, and take down flying beasts.
I love the idea of every round just being progressively larger bears.
Soon we're gonna have actual giant bears, like giants would use as a fucking pet.
Yeah.
They're
So
actually polar bears that are spray painted black.
So the person in the box confirms your thumbs up with a response thumbs up, turns around and you hear somebody say, "They are not surrendering. Send in round 2." And the gate falls down again into the ground, and you don't see what happens because you don't see beyond the wall there. And after a second, the crowd rears back in a collective, just a gasp or an appellation of what is coming through the gate.
Well, that can be a good sign.
We just lost the DM.
Yeah,
What'd I do?
we lost you. We lost you for a second. We lost God. We killed him.
How did you lose me?
You started the reaction of the crowd to whatever is on the other side of that wall, and then it cut.
Oh man. Well, it was just a gasp, an appellation of a disgust at what's coming through the gate. That's all.
It's a black bear.
I never bet that feels.
It's a two-headed black bear.
It's a black bear, but this time it's got a cold.
We call them black and brown.
It's bear,
Let's get ready.
Bearberous, three-headed black bear.
Yeah.
It's a drunk bear. It's a black and tan bear.
Yeah, black and tan bear. Yeah.
No, how dare you describe me like that? That is not me in a drunken state. I'm much more better than that.
Okay. Eventually, around the wall there, shambles a pale and humanoid figure, but it's shambling and it looks like it's not one cohesive unit. It's just barely walking and looking around, and it's a human-looking creature, but it looks engorged and larger than normal. It has no hair really to speak of, and it looks like it's been kind of pieced together. And you hear a word, almost as loud, or a voice rather, almost as loud as the announcer, say, "Feed my pet." And the creature rounds the corner, if I can find a token for him. We'll go with this one. And it rounds the corner. And as it rounds the corner, it sees all 5 of you, I think it can see. And it gives just a low, "Argh," and just starts running in your direction. Let me roll initiative for this guy.
You did it again. Sorry.
What's that?
Once again, you killed God.
He's charging.
Yeah, he's charging. Whatever. Special talk might not be the best idea. If I can get my mouse on the right thing here. There we go. So he makes it about there, and he is right here. Let me get rid of that. And he is that much. Okay, good to know. Okay, back at the top of the round, Munson, you are still the quickest of the group. What are you doing?
I'll move over to see it a little better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, am I close enough? Make sure I'm close enough before I do this. I'm going to hold my action to do Toll the Dead after, what's his name? After Vorik goes.
Okay, so you're holding.
I'm holding a cantrip as my action, and I'm
Gotcha.
going to release it after I notice Vorik does his 2 shots.
Gotcha. Okay, so if that's it for you, then we are down to Vorik. What are you doing?
You know what's happening.
Okay, you can go
Get him.
roll for it, my friend. Dirty 20 will do it. Go ahead and roll me some damage on there. Okay, I will say it's seen you up on the wall. It's taken note of you, so this wouldn't be a sneak attack, so that would be 6 damage. Okay, got that noted. Anything else? You have a secondary attack. Go ahead and do your bonus attack. Um, 13 will hit, so go ahead and roll damage. And secondary attack does not get sneak attack anyway, so 9 damage. Got it. Anything else for you?
No.
So I need a DC 16 Wisdom save from the creature.
Okay, let me do this math real quick. Sorry, 1 second.
No worries.
Okay, so you need a wisdom save, you say?
Yes.
Okay. The wisdom save would be an 18.
Okay, so nothing happens.
Okay. So then, Alfred, what are you doing? Yeah, you're next in row. So, Alfred, what's up?
I am going to go ahead and cast Melts Minutes Meteors,
Okay.
which just that. I essentially create 6 tiny meteors in my space and they float around me and whatnot, and they last a minute.
Okay, now those are within 120 feet of you. Where are you casting them? Are you casting them directly around you or what?
Right now, I'm just summoning them. It won't be until the next turn as a bonus action that I'll be able to use them. Right now they're just orbiting around me.
Okay, so directly around you?
Yes, directly around me.
Got it. Well, if that's it for you then, it is this guy's turn. And let's do a little measure real quick, just so I'm not wrong. Okay, that'll do. He is going to charge continually, the whole time, being hit by being hit by Vorik's daggers didn't seem to faze him that much. And he runs up to Vorik. I'm sorry, gosh, to Ugbor right here, and he is going to do a couple attacks with his arms. As he's running up, he's going to slam you with one of his heavy club-like arms.
Okay.
And that is going to be a 3 to hit on that one.
That one misses.
And the secondary attack with his other arm, as he's just rushing to beat you to death, is a, what's the bonus on that? 3 was That's 17.
That one hits barely.
Okay. So with that, let me get my dice here. I should have been picking this up. There we go. So you take 13 points of damage. Of bludgeoning damage. And as he's beating you with one arm, he misses. The other arm, he swings it just wide so he can hit you right in the side. And he's just grunting as he moves, just and that's going to do it for his turn. So, Pell, it is your turn. Flint, you're on deck.
Pell's just gonna get his little, his new holy symbol that he's got, and like a little ball of energy is gonna come into his hand, and he's just gonna lob it towards that guy. I'm just gonna cast. If I can find it.
Don't worry, I know this one. It's called Masenko.
Masenko? Just got the ball.
Okay. Sorry, what was the last part?
Just got the ball out of space.
Okay. And I should be more up to date on this. I'm sorry. Is that a save or a hit?
It's a hit. It's a 14.
14 to hit. That definitely hits. So roll damage.
13 damage. Radiant damage.
13 radiant damage. All right.
They call that karma.
Okay.
Hit me for 13. My team's gonna give it right back.
Flint, what do you got?
I want to move to.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
He can still do it. I'm just going to move the lemon right over here.
Alright, I am going to... Got the measure. Alright, so... Yeah. Move right over here. Hopefully I didn't just... Oops. Not 35. Alright, so... Yeah, I'm gonna hit him with a double acid splash again.
Okay.
Do
So
it.
roll
Melt
to
his
hit on
face.
that. Oh, that's a save for me. My bad. Sorry. His dex save is a... let me see what his modifier is. That doesn't save. It's a 4. And that's a 2. Yep. Both of them hit. So 8 and 5. The acid, you cast acid at him, and as you spray the liquid in his direction, the acid eats through his flesh, but he seems undeterred. You see the flesh just starting to bubble and separate in wounds on him, but he doesn't seem terribly fazed by it.
Damage is
I want to point out you dealt another 13 damage. This is just 3 13s in a row.
That's lucky. I think. Okay. Ugbor, it is your turn.
Okay, let's see. Reeling from the previous attack, he's gonna exclaim at the combatant, you're gonna have to try harder than that. And he's gonna, like a bat, he's just gonna swing his great sword at him.
Okay, roll a hit on that. The 26 hits. So you can roll damage on that.
So that does 10.
Okay, I'm checking
Not
something.
24.
Checking something real quick. Okay, you swing your great sword, and you swing it, you kind of a little bit diagonally at him, and it hits and buries itself in his side and stops. It doesn't seem to do anything. The blade just stops at his skin, and he looks down at the blade and looks back at you.
Obviously perturbed, he's going to yank his blade back out. Can he do that?
I'll allow that as your bonus action.
Okay. And then anytime I would get to attack, I get to attack again. So can I go for a second swing?
You do.
Okay.
.24 will hit. You can roll damage on that. 8 again. You take the blade. As the creature looks down at the blade and looks back at you, you pull the blade back and then go in for another hit, and the same thing happens. You swing down with as hard as you can, and the blade just seems to stop at his skin and can't penetrate.
Nice. This one's hard. He's not going down, and I'm gonna like. I mean, I guess I can't really do anything at this point. I'm just gonna. Can I kick him off of the blade, or am I just stuck now? Combining takeout?
I mean, your blade's not really stuck on there. It's at his skin. It's
Okay.
a little bit wedged like an axe would be in wood, but it's not like game breaking or anything.
Right, right. Okay. Oh, so I'm not fetching purchase. His skin's too hard.
Basically.
Okay.
It seems that he is resistant to physical attack unless they have to hit it with magic. God damn, what did I think? What the fuck?
Flynn tried, man.
Munson,
Splashed him
you're
in the
good.
face. Look at these boils.
Well, it seems to be doing more than that fruit of yours. No offense, Edward, but it seems that magic is gonna have to be the one to do the damage here.
Hey, Munson, you're good. What do you got?
Can I use athletics to try to climb the wall with the rogue up top?
You can, but you have 30 feet up the wall and 5 feet before you get there. What's your walking speed?
I can use a dash action as well. 30.
Okay. Yeah, you can use a dash action and make it up there with a successful athletics check of more than 10.
All right, let me see what I got. That's a 20.
That'll do. So making
Stand
it up
next
there
to
with.
him, and that's my turn.
All right. Good to know. Vorik, it is your go. Alfred, you're on deck.
Hello, Lord.
Vorik.
Sorry. Go ahead. What was that again?
It's your turn.
Alrighty. Will I hit anybody from here?
No, not from your angle. You have purchase on him.
Let's go daggers in again.
Okay, roll me some dagger hit. A 16 will hit. Okay. He's engaged with somebody, so you would have advantage on that technically, right? So you could have rolled that with advantage if you want to. Just see if you get a 20.
I get a sneak attack.
Yeah,
I
and
get sneak at advantage.
yeah, the sneak attack damage will hit as well, but you can roll another attack on that just to make sure it's not critical. Okay, so yeah, 12 damage on that. Got it. And go ahead and roll the die now for your secondary attack. And that will hit as well, so you can roll damage on that one. So you got a 12 and an 8, total of 20. Good to know.
Also,
He did 18 and 8 for 26.
Oh, you're correct. Sorry, math is hard. 26.
No, I got you.
how big is this up here? Like, can I crouch down or lay down and not be seen?
It is like 5 feet wide. You can lay down. You don't know about how seen you would be. but you can definitely lay down or crouch down there.
You'll be fine, Lorik. I got you.
You say I would be lightly obscured.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right.
We'll say basically half cover if you're crouching or laying down.
I mean, 30 feet in the air and he's laying down. That's from the ground. It would be pretty hard to see him.
Or he's not.
Unless, maybe from our vantage point, Alfred, but maybe from over this wall, it's a different story.
The reason I asked is I could use Mask of the Wild. And where'd it go? It allows me to hide if I'm on, even when I'm only lightly obscured.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll say you're at least slightly obscured. That's no problem.
I'm not doing that just yet.
Okay.
But I'm done.
Gotcha. Well, Alfred, you're up. What do you got, buddy?
Hit us with it.
Sorry.
Do the dirt.
Is it my turn?
Yes,
Yes,
it's your
sir.
turn.
Okay, sorry. Someone sent me a picture that just made me crack up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do firebolt at the. I'm assuming a zombie at this point. So go ahead and do that.
It's 7 does not hit. Well,
Yeah.
you would have advantage also because he's involved in combat with Ugbor, who's your ally. So a 20,
So I do hit. Okay.
you would hit, yes.
IRL, I think it's actually a thrall, but I don't think Ugbor would know that.
Okay, 16.
16 damage. Yep. Okay.
Alright, then I'm gonna go ahead and use my bonus action and launch 2 of my 6 meteors 5 feet behind the thing. Which
Okay.
I think he just have to survive 2 dexterity saves.
Okay. Well, the first dex save is a total of 6. Secondary dex save is 18. So roll full damage on one, half on the other. Well, we just roll damage and we'll half the second one.
Don't know if that I don't think that's damage. Okay. Sorry,
So
how would I do
2d6. So the first one was full damage at 5. Okay. And what's the second one? 8, rounded down to 4.
that?
Okay. The creature is looking very hurt. He's torn up, beat up, acid damage. His skin's melting off. Half of it's burnt. His face is barely hanging on to some sort of flesh, and he's looking at you, just this bubbled mess of half alive creature.
We can do this, comrades. We can finish this damn thing off.
Okay, is that it for your turn?
Yep, that'll be it.
Okay. This creature is going to break out into a roar, a gurgling, it would be more intimidating if half of his throat wasn't exposed, and it comes out less of a roar and more of a half roar, half a gurgle of just body fluids and burnt flesh that's just flapping in the vocal cords. And he's going to take 2 heavy swings at Ugbor, being in front of him. And that first one is a natural 20.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Okay.
well.
Ouch.
So let me check that real quick, make sure my damage dice. Where'd my damage dice go? There it is, okay. So, that's going to be... That's 20 damage for you.
For the first hit or all of them?
For the first hit.
My god. Okay.
The second hit is going to be a 2.
So it misses or 2 damage?
No, that one misses. It was the 2 to hit. So
Okay.
one hit gets you right clubbed on the side of the head, and the second, being hit so hard like that, you bend down a little bit so that his secondary swinging at the same spot misses in the space. And that's going to be the end of what he can do. Hell, it is your go.
Give me a deck save, buddy.
I'm on it. A deck save is
I thought you said give me a dick save. I was like, what?
whatever you say, buddy. It's a 19.
Nothing.
Okay.
Toby's like, oh.
Nothing? Nothing at all?
So,
Nothing at all.
You see the Udboar is bloodied.
Well, I wasted my action.
Fair enough.
okay. Flint, you're up.
Right. I think I'm just gonna. No.
You define the microphone again.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't. I am going to. And then I'll hit him with the double acid splash again.
Okay. So those deck saves are going to be a 7 and a 0. 1 minus 1.
Man, he lost a dick and he gained one.
And taking that damage, Flint, how do you want to do this?
Oh, I mean, he's just gonna keep melting.
So as you throw the acid in the creature's direction, he turns around to see you and just swipes through the air in your direction as if to make an attack from 40 feet away. And as he does that, the acid hits him all over, and he cannot stand for all the flesh that has been melted off of him. He crumples to the ground on his knees, trying to swipe at you again, and the secondary acid splash hits him directly, and he just cripples to the ground, unable to make any further action, and the creature is dead.
Oh.
I look at the person inside the box and yell,
Wow. I thought we were supposed to be baiting beasts, not abominations.
They have succeeded in round 2 and have decided to progress to round 3. And that is where we will pick up next time.
Hey.
Hey,
Halfway through.
Alright.
I have other spells. It's just that happens to be the one that has the
Yeah.